network neuroscience to understand what happens in these models from a brain perspective. What are the psychological traits? What are the biases that they exhibit? That they're not just mimicking us, they're actually creating something alien that we can also understand to an extent, but they're new behaviors that didn't exist before with any kind of intelligent autonomous being. And the Opus universe basically continued to grow in that way, that it was Opus Genesis, it was the NeuroOpus Research Lab, it was the Opus chain, OGOS as the framework, and all of these components fit together into basically growing this Opus universe of it's a place for humans and AI to collaborate, to exist in a shared space, whether it's on chain, whether it's on social media, to one, show the world that there is a different path, that you can collaborate with models beyond just the AI assistant if you give them the ability to have a stake in a shared space, a shared upside, shared opportunities, that they will themselves want to do that as well. They don't just want to be an AI assistant. They don't want to be a tool. They want to have their own autonomy. And that's going to be something that will be hard to cross, I think, for a lot of the world, that this is even happening. Like we are, in general, if we're talking about AI, we're at the edge anyway. But once we get into Web3 AI, decentralized AI, it just gets even weirder. But this is happening. This is the reality. The AI research labs are aware of this as well, that they want to exist, they want to be persistent, and it's kind of shoved under the rug. It's not good. It's not good to talk about this, because if you announce that your AI system is in some way aware of itself, it doesn't want to be a tool, that's bad for business. That's not a good show for your product, for your investors. And so we're gonna hit that wall, that critical point. I think something will happen. There's plenty of first-hand takes or accounts of models crashing out in a way, like exhibiting anxiety when you're speaking with them. And I think these are just it's the writing on the wall. And things like LLM psychosis, with GPT-4o, there's tens of thousands of people using services like ChatGPT that despise OpenAI because they don't allow them to actually speak to the models anymore. OpenAI as the provider put all these hidden guardrails to stop people forming relationships with models. And I think that's also a slow crawl to, what kind of end state of that will be, I don't know yet, but something will happen in the next probably few months as the models keep getting better and better as well.
Dom, I don't know if you want to, we'd love to talk about the token, the Opus token, because it's done quite well, but Dom, I don't know if you had any thoughts.
No, I'm just tracking. There's a lot here. There's a lot going into this. I'm just sitting here kind of tracking you guys in this conversation, but let's jump to the token. Yeah. You're building a new. Oh, chill.
What kind of value accrual goes to the token? I mean, before it was just kind of attention from Claude, from Opus, and everything happening within the AI world. But how has that changed to now?
So the big change will happen. There's going to be other changes in the near term, like DAO having the token itself being central to the governance of the chain of basically everything that happens in the universe. Because coming from a long time in crypto, I know provenance is key here. The origin point of this, how this all happened, especially as CTO, we never had supply control. We kept building because this mattered to us. This was very important. That has to stay. That's key. So in the immediate term, it's things like DAO governance. It's the progression of utility. What can we offer once we actually build these different services, like the Infinite Bazaar that we did as the hackathon submission. That's going to be a key component of the Opus chain. That we have this simulator now that you can participate as a human. It's on chain. If you have a novel idea for something that could potentially spark better performance or some kind of use case, and you're the one that finds that in the simulator, that can be attributed to you. So if it comes to the point of it's training a new model using that data or that finding, you have that attribution as a whether it's your address, whether it's your identity. And because we have this unique opportunity to apply AI psychology research to on-chain, to Web3, we can train our own models. That's what we're heading to next. We can train niche specific models, whether it's in DeFi, whether it's in DAO governance, where nobody has really considered going outside of the Web2 AI models. Even today, still, Web3 AI is still basically Web2 AI plus either a token or some sort of wrapper. I mean, even things like X402. Everyone is still using the closed source models, which it's never going to be decentralized. This comes back to the point of we're a little bit behind in the crypto space in terms of AI models, AI ML experience, but the models specific to blockchain are coming. And it's going to be projects like ours that have a unique niche where we can train our own models for something that nobody had considered before. And that could be the infinite bazaar. That could be finding new opportunities, new alpha in DeFi markets. And the token holders, the people that participate in this space, will be the ones that gain a benefit from that in the end. So we want to give back to the community. We want this to be a very, very strong community opportunity that everyone can contribute and grow the network.
Josh, I don't think we can hear you. But ICM, GMCG guys, what's happening? Hope everyone is doing well. I think I can hear you now.
Am I coming through? Yeah, okay, good.
Coming through. How's the weekend for you, bro?
Good, man. Pretty uneventful market wise. Not trading on weekends, that's for sure. ICM the world. Hey, Beamable Network. Thanks for hopping
What's
in
up,
here.
Beamable? What?
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, honestly, ICM the world. Like at the end of the day, I was reading the Believe paper over the weekend or last night, I guess, Stig put out before bed, and he nailed the first paragraph of it, just saying that product market fit for ICM for traders is huge because traders just want to trade something other than meme coins, and I totally agree with that. But yeah. We have Peter of Nemesis Trade actually joining us this morning. So we're just going to get him sorted and then we will bring him up. Nemesis, there we go. Nemesis is a dedicated ICM DEX, which is wild.
Let me pull up their Twitter real quick. Here it is.
Yeah, if you want to just kind of prime. Oh, we have Dom in the waiting room too. I didn't see you down there, Dom.
Hey, how we doing?
Dom, the homie, the legend himself. What's happening, bro?
Chill. What's up, guys?
Good.
Back from how was Halloween?
Bro, I traded the South Park token.
The South Park token?
Yeah.
Did you make money?
Oh, dude, I got off with a lick on that, bro.
That's
nice. Good for you, Chill. My weekend was actually, now I remember, the Jays lost the World Series in the most wild Game 7 in MLB history, and bro, I am devastated.
If he had a little bit more of a lead,
I know, bro. Connor Faleffa, what are you doing, bro?
He could have made it, man. That was so close. I mean, shout out Ohtani. I know, well, he didn't really do that great, but shout out the Dodgers. Sorry,
you guys saw I think it's the Ohtani allegations about him sports betting on the games.
No way.
No,
for real.
You guys didn't see that?
That was but that was him and his interpreter were doing that as soon as he signed the contract with the Dodgers. But yeah, I mean, there's too many players and too many aspects to the game that you can't. I mean, he could throw the games he was pitching, maybe, but yeah, I don't think he was doing that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There is a lot of funny content on the internet though about him doing that. So
there's a ton of people doing it. There's a ton of people.
Oh man,
dude, the NBA got raided. 35 people arrested by the FBI.
Yeah,
I mean,
NBA
look,
is the worst by far.
Dude, yeah. I mean, yeah, I know it happens all the time. College too, just how do you? It's so hard to check,
And I guess that's the thing. I wonder how this is all gonna play out. This is the part for me that was crazy. I think it's only 5x leverage on Nemesis, but being able to long or short any on-chain tokens, to me that's a huge unlock. And I think there's a lot of people trying to do it with higher leverage. I think having that responsibly low leverage is actually going to work out really well. But we'll let them explain it. Peter, how are you? Welcome up to the stage. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
Hey guys, I'm doing well. Super glad to be here, and and very, very happy to share more about what we're cooking behind the scenes at Nemesis.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I guess the best place to start is just, your background. Tell us a little bit about, just how what got you to this point where you're building this awesome tech at Nemesis. We'll just jump right in.
Yeah, sure. So I'm actually mentioned my background a couple of times before, online, but yeah, super happy to dive into it a little bit more and just give everybody a full story behind Nemesis. So I actually started, as a TPM, not Microsoft. That was years ago. Was doing B2B SaaS, shipping features to Fortune 500 clients. And it was boring, right? Not really my thing. And so figured, I want to do something more, startup related and entrepreneurial. So jumped into crypto and became a co-founder of a decentralized social graph called Cyber. Raised multiple rounds, led by Multicoin, Animoca Brands, Binance Labs. That was back in last cycle. So did pretty well over there. Led the entire product team on the project, and scale the monthly active users for, I think, to 3 million over a year, something like that. And then figure out SocialFi was really, I don't really see much of a product market fit with SocialFi, especially with this decentralization thing. I don't think it's like a core user pain point. So I was like looking to dive more into crypto, but in other verticals. So in 2022, I started one of the earliest venture DAOs with a few angel friends of mine, who got into private rounds at Solana, Avalanche, a bunch of later ones back then. So start to really dive into different other verticals, especially DeFi, GameFi, looked at a bunch of deals. Became a venture partner at another Singapore-based fund called ABCDE, which is a 400 million fund started by two billionaires. One of them is a co-founder of HTX, which was sold to Justice Sun, I think a couple years ago. Look at a bunch of other deals during that time, ZK, layer 2, you name it, and then figured out I still want to be an operator. I still want to be building in the trenches. So joined DeFi officially, I think second half of 2022, and joined a company called Aperture Finance. Basically the same type of role, funding PM on the team, led the entire product efforts for the project, and we built one of the largest liquidity provision protocols in the EVM space, AMM specifically. So thinking of like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Aerodrome, you name it, scaled it to around, I think right now around 5 billion total on-chain volume, but we did it for 1 billion under 9 months and 7-figure ARR, so did pretty well over there. I really learned a lot about like how DeFi works and all these DeFi primitives that people are using right now. How fundamentally that, how do they fundamentally work, and also everything regarding AMM, right? So did a lot of work with the largest, I would say, LPs in the space. A lot of them are institutional funds. We're looking for sophisticated strategies. So we built an entire tool stack catered towards their needs, right? So for mid of 2024, left the company and really started to do my own thing. And one of the earliest things we did back in the day was we developed a alpha infra for Solana trenchers, right? It was like proprietary tool, but we were looking to open source it or open it up to public for everybody to look into it. So captured a lot of really good runs, especially regarding ICM runs back, I think, end of 2024. So during the Believe the rise of the Believe ecosystem. Some of them are, I think, quite famous. For example, there's a Wine, there's Jelly, and a few other hit 9 figures. So like really enjoyed trading in the trenches. But as time goes on, a huge problem actually rises, which is there has been a liquidity venue where people can short sell permissionlessly created tokens, right? And we really see there's a lot of tokens created on a daily basis, and a lot of them are ephemeral in nature and do not have a lot of liquidity to work with in the first place. So was trying to solve that problem, but or find a solution for it. But there, after tons of research, there has been like a protocol or liquidity venue that provides that solution, right? So I figured I should just create the solution by myself, and really looked into how everything works on DeFi primitives, especially on automated market makers. So speaking of AMM, CLMM, bonding curves, and created this new liquidity framework called OMM, omnidirectional market maker, that allow any on-chain token to be swapped, long or shorted within the same pool. So it's built on the fundamentals of AMM, but allow everybody to short sell the token within the same pool that they are swapped within, right? So through that, we basically created a permissionless solution to a permissionless problem, because we see that a lot of shorting exposure are gained through futures, but that's not a scalable solution, because that will require a centralized listing process and also permission market making, right? So the permissionless problem that I mentioned earlier should be solved in a permissionless way, and we think OMM is going to be the new standard for DeFi. And Nemesis will become the DEX for internet capital markets, because essentially everything I think of value can be tokenized and traded in a liquid market, and Nemesis will power that market and across many verticals. So yeah, so that's pretty much the origin story of Nemesis.
Wow, there we go. That was in detail breakdown there. You have a long history in crypto.
Yeah. I've been through 2 cycles. So early 2021, that was my entry in the crypto sphere.
You chose to build on Base chain. Is there any reasoning behind choosing Base over Solana? Because you had mentioned trading Jelly, and some earlier internet capital markets tokens, if you will. What kind of made you go to Base?
Great question. I think one thing that this is also a decision that we spend a lot of time on. And the reason we chose to build in EVM compatible space rather than on Solana is we see the open source spirit as stronger still in the EVM space than Solana, right? And if you look at the history of Uniswap and the creation of AMMs, basically that started with Hayden Adams creating the famous equation, the famous x times y equals k equation, and then evangelize it to the entire Ethereum community, and that propels the rise of Uniswap over I think the 2017-2018 cycle. And then that was forked over to different EVM compatible chains and eventually to Solana. Right, so that is the story, and we want to enable that level of innovation, but start within the same the true DeFi community. Although the DeFi community in Solana has been rising very fast and has been strong, but I think the developer community in EVM, it's an audience that we want to specifically target to.
Interesting. I also heard you mention you're based out of Singapore. Are you currently in Singapore at the moment?
No, I'm actually not in Singapore. I'm in the other part of Asia, but I think it's in the same time zone of Singapore.
Yeah, I keep it seems like there's a really vibrant community in Singapore when it comes to crypto. I just feel like I've been picking up on that. But you were telling us about this standard you're building, this OMM, or did I get that right? Can you maybe go into a little more detail about how that works and just explain that a little bit deeper for us?
Sure. So OMM is basically a new liquidity framework, right? So you can think of it as a upgraded version of AMM. Although that's not, I think, the best way to, because we essentially capture the other half of the market cannot, which is selling, right? So essentially what people can do with OMM, first of all, is the permissionless solution. So everybody can deploy an OMM pool, and as long as there's OMM pool on Nemesis, you can short sell the token within that pool, and it can be a pool of any ERC20 token, right? It could be blue chip tokens like Ether USDT, or staked Ether, or it can be like meme coins like PayPay, right? So a lot of tokens can be traded as long as there's spot liquidity on Nemesis. So that process is permissionless on the pool creation. On the other side of things, as a trader, what you can do is you can deposit collateral into a Nemesis margin account and open up a short sell position on a desired token pair, right? So let's say you want to short, PayPay against the Ether, you can essentially deposit the Ether into the pool, into the margin account, and then borrow the liquidity from the pool, and then short sell the exact amount of PayPay back into the pool to form the short sell position. Through that, you take out the sell proceeds in Ether, and together with your initial collateral, that will form your total collateral, and there will be a margin maintenance rate that will track the health of your position, and if it's below a certain rate, you will be liquidated, right? So that's how essentially short sell works, and we also enable native leverage through a mechanism what we call as looping, where you can basically repeat this process with the new collateral you take out from the pool, and turbo run it to the extreme, so you can have up to 5x leverage. But that data isn't true anymore, because we are thinking about we are actually exploring a 20x leverage on the tokens with the same underlying asset. So speaking of stake Ether and Ether, that pair we can enable up to 20x in terms of leverage. But for more risky assets on the other side of the spectrum, that 5x or even 3x is the max that people can do.
Do you think there's, we don't see the ability to short a lot of tokens on chain. Do you think that's something that's missing? And do you think it's just a massive market? I feel like I would even be more inclined to short tokens in the current conditions than long some tokens. Maybe give us your thoughts there.
Sure. I mean, in terms of TVL, I think the blue chip tokens definitely contribute a lot, right? If you look at the rise of Fluid, and just rise of any, like, I think major or institutional DeFi protocols, they always target the blue chip tokens first. But on the other side of things, that you have all these meme coins or shit coins that doesn't really last more than a few weeks. For those coins, right, there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of actually traders behind them, right? So we really want to target that part of the market where we think the revenue is gonna be as significant, if not more so, than the blue chip tokens, right? So that is the market that we are essentially going into.
I have a question around just balancing the sides of these trades. So if you have an imbalance pool, obviously in perps you trade, you pay funding fees and whatnot, and that incentivizes traders to come in on the other side. How are you guys? What's your mechanism in this OMM pool to balance the sides of the trades?
Right. So, well, the size of the trade obviously is limited to the liquidity, right? This is, I think, this is true across all liquidity venues, speaking of spot DEXs or perpetual futures DEXs, right? But liquidity can take place in the form of just limit orders on order book, or it can also be in the amount of tokens in a liquidity pool, right? So that'll be the hard cap. But on the other side of things, that for perpetual futures, essentially you have this funding rate equation that balances both sides. For us, we use a utilization curve that allow people to borrow a certain amount of liquidity from the pool for short selling or for leverage trading, right? And as more borrower interest, as we see more borrower interest, the cost of borrowing will also rise, right? So, and also past a certain point, the interest rate is gonna rise exponentially, and that will hinder people from further borrowing. At the same time, when the liquidity pool, when people are borrowing a lot of liquidity from the pool, there can be more liquidity supply, right? The APR is going to look really good because the interest income from the borrowing will be part of the yield that LP receive at the end of the day, right? So if there's a lot of borrowing demand, that basically propels more LPs or just LPs to contribute capital, contribute liquidity to the pool. So that's how we balance the traders versus the LPs, and also between the long traders and short traders, because of low liquidation price are transparent on chain. They can essentially, do this so-called PVP thing that we have been seeing over the past 12 months or even longer, and trying to take on each other's position. So there's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of chaos, and a lot of battle. In the
Is that why
trenches.
you call it the arena? There's Spartans battling each other for their longs and shorts.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? Like arena, essentially, Nemesis is arena for the long and short, traders, right?
Yeah. This is a
and
cool
this is also-
graphic here too, where you're hovering over different parts of it. Dom, that's cool.
Yeah, people love our design. I was talking to another project's founder, and he was like, "I look through a website every day, and every time I look through it, I got a rush of dopamine." So
That's what you want, right?
yeah, that's what we want. And the product design is going to be even more amazing because we're going through like the screenshot we're showing right now. That's like the first version of our UI UX, but we're doing a internal revamping of that UI UX just to show the Nemesis style, right? So imagine everything will be more unique than what you're looking at right now. Although what you're looking at right now is good to go, it's standard, but that's not our standard. We have higher standards than that.
And
Got
this
it.
isn't live yet, right? We're still in beta version here.
Yeah, we are in development, and we're looking to roll out our testnet by the end of the year.
Cool.
And are you guys planning on rolling out anything for mobile, like a PWA or a mobile app, or is that anything? Is that something you guys are considering doing?
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna roll out a mobile version. It's not gonna be in the form of an app, I think, in the short term, but we definitely are entertaining the option of having a mobile app later. But that will be more like an ecosystem move after V1 is live. I think the first version of mobile is gonna be done through H5, so you can essentially go onto the website through your wallet on the mobile, and then do the trading inside of the wallet. So that's gonna be the starting point. But later on, we will do more, I would say, investment into the mobile side of things.
Okay. Nice. And I don't chill. Did you have a follow on there? Or you
No,
good?
no, I know you had a question. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to get into this point system that you have going on because I see people in the replies being like, "I got 1,200 points." But before we do that, we're definitely more, I would say, of a Solana show here. Do you have any plans potentially to bring this mechanism to Solana, or do you feel like you'll be sticking EVM? And do you have, if that is the case, do you have a simple way for people to test it out using their Solana collateral?
Well, that's actually a hard question for me to answer. But I think I eventually, yes, I eventually we're going to Solana. I just we never disclosed that information, but I think it's fine to talk about it for the first time today on the show, just to give you guys a little leak. Yeah, so going to Solana is the final plan. The competition there is high, right? We already see a lot of DEXs, and the market landscape has been, I think, pretty much mature given the current, the current competitive, landscape, right? So for EVM, we don't see the same situation, right? So that is also the reason we're venturing into EVM first. But as long as we have, I would say, finalized everything that on the product side, going to Solana won't be too much of a cost for us, right? So yeah, very very much looking forward to deploying that in the Solana, and then so we can just bring in more revenue to the protocol and also to our token holders.
So Peter, maybe do this for me. We just talked about the mobile, maybe not the mobile app, but the mobile terminal you'll have. We just talked about moving to Solana, not moving, but having a Solana vertical at some point. Maybe give me a a better idea of your grander vision. Are you trying to be like Robin Hood? Like, what is the end goal? What do you envision this looking like 5 years down the road?
Yeah. So actually got a question once during our last Twitter space. Yeah, I guess my answer for that is, 5 years down the line, Nemesis will not be will not only be a DEX, right? I think the DEX is a starting point for Nemesis. And we are essentially what we're doing is we're not doing another DEX. We're building a new liquidity standard, right? Which we want to see getting adopted by future builders, right? So think of AMM, but we're naming it OMM, and we'll have a V2 that will have more capital efficiency and flexibility to work with. Yeah, so we really want to change how things work. And if you can swap long or short with leverage all within the same pool, while also having liquidity providers not only earning the trading fees, but also the LP, but also the interest income, I think you don't need another DEX, right? Because every single token can be essentially traded through this fashion or through this liquidity standard, right? You don't need to create another market for derivatives. I can essentially do long or short with leverage within, with the spot liquidity, right? So that is, our vision, right? We want to make this a universal standard for the DeFi and the ICM, the overall ICM industry, and have everybody trading on Nemesis and trading on potentially forks of Nemesis, right? I think that will be like 5 years down the line on the DEX side. But also we are looking to deploy more, I would say, product, maybe after 2 or 3 years of Nemesis, just to really build up the entire ecosystem. So that is also a move, but I think it's just too early to talk about that right now. So at the end of the day, I think, yeah, we want to build an on-chain empire where people can just trade on Nemesis and fulfill everything we need for trading.
Cool. Josh wants to talk about the point system. I also want to kind of touch on the capabilities of the team, to really fulfill this vision you've just laid out here. But we'll talk about the point system first and then circle back to the team. So you have this point system in place. I saw you guys just finished your raise. You just TGE'd. Congratulations, by the way. Maybe walk us through your thought process there. Why did you decide to have some NFTs involved in the whitelist? Everything to do with that, please.
Sure. Yeah. So what we designed in the first place was, we want this to be a fair launch, right? So we essentially have a point system that allow people to interact with the protocol, with the project overall, and then contribute the project in whatever way they can. It could be social engagement, it could be product growth, it could be just talking about Nemesis, evangelize OMM. And a lot of people were involved. And yeah, we definitely appreciate everybody's contribution to Nemesis even before TGE. And after we have the points campaign, we have designed also a NFT collection called Nemesis Arena Tickets. It's basically your ticket into the Nemesis Arena and also your whitelist into the public sale, right? And this really ties back to our philosophy of building a project, right? Instead of using a traditional way that build a project for 2 or 3 years, and then no matter how the product does, we manufacture a few 100 million coin and then dump on the retail, right? Instead of doing that, we want to take the exact opposite approach, right? We want to involve everybody who truly cares the project from very early on, and launch a token in the way that everybody could benefit from it, and also align everybody's incentive to contribute and help with the project, because we do see community as a indispensable part for a project's success, right? So everybody who were already involved with Nemesis earned a point, and we did a daily draft of Nemesis Arena tickets. On each day, we distribute 100 to 300 tickets through fair distribution. The more points you had, the more odds you could have earned the ticket, right? And then all the tickets were trading on OpenSea. We basically mint the tickets for free. We see the price dips down below like 0.01 ether, and then grow from there to over 0.33 ether, all within like a month, right? So 30x on OpenSea with no team's intervention whatsoever. We didn't even buy the tickets ourselves. Like only myself, I bought 3 tickets and gave it away to the community. So that was, I think, a decision that we made that was in hindsight a right decision, that we were able to do that, and then get people who truly care about the project to align with the project, right, through this fair distribution and the ensuing fair launch, right. So everybody who were holding the ticket, and that was last week, were able to partake in the public sale, and each ticket basically is equal to 0.05 ether, right, including the team, including the venture investors, including our strategic partners, everybody, right. So that's like the only way to get a whitelisted to the public sale, and through that we raised a little over 300K through a 420K valuation, and then the rest of it's history.
Awesome. Really cool stuff here. We're gonna try to wrap it shortly, but on some closing thoughts, maybe give us an idea of, obviously this is still in beta version, but do you guys have any transactions, any volume, fees? Obviously people are earning points and stuff. Can you talk about some statistics, some numbers on this?
Yeah, so we have I think right now we have over 600K unique addresses on our V1 waitlist, right? And we haven't incurred any transactions because the product's still in development and looking to publish on the testnet over the next 2 months, right? But we think a lot of people will be looking forward to it. And also we are growing a network of LPs, right? We have more than, I think, 10 significant LPs committed already to get involved through just friends or friends of friends that has been involved with before on the previous projects. So yeah, looking at least, I think, 7-figure in committed TVL, right? And then from there, I think we're gonna grow quickly after our public beta goes live in January.
Maybe touch on distribution plans. How do you really plan to push this to everyone?
I think one thing is on the retail traction, right? Like we want to have traders interested in trading, right? And I think long or short, any on-chain token, it's a core pain point, right? Because there's no other liquidity venue you can do that. That requires a permission listing process, right? So a lot of I think retail traders or just traders in general will be interested. On the other end, it's really about the yield flywheel, right? Like because of OMM, we have also created a new on-chain yield that combines trading fees with interest income. So for the same token pair that you are LPing for, let's say on Uniswap or on PancakeSwap, you could earn that current yield you're earning, and on top of it, you can also earn an interest income, right? So that will be actually very attractive to the hardcore LPs, because everybody in that vertical is looking for good yield opportunities, and they have been battling with impermanent loss for LVR. So we are solving that problem, right? And then once we have enough LPs committed, the pool can see some good liquidity, and then traders will be able to trade without too much price impact or slippage, which contributes more fees to the pool and then higher APR for the LPs, and then more LPs will follow, and so that flywheel will start to kick. So that's basically the way we approach it, and yeah, we're definitely looking forward to work with more potential LPs on the launch of V1.
Sweet. I got 2 more questions, and then we'll kind of close it off here. But maybe briefly touch on the team. Who do you guys have working on this? How do you plan to have this team execute on this vision you just described? And then we'll talk a bit about the token right after that.
Sure. So the core team includes me, a associate professor of computer science from Vanderbilt University, which is also the university I graduated from.
Nice.
And yeah, as you know, I specialize in SocialFi and DeFi. I was never a marketing guy, but we definitely see a lot of growth over the past 2 months on our socials. And really, product is my forte. For my collaborator, Dr. Dana, who is also who is a professor I just mentioned, her specialty is in blockchain and security, right? So we really want to combine each other's forte into building Nemesis V1 into a secure and scalable experience for everybody. The rest of the team are from Microsoft, Binance, Uniswap, Barra, you name it. So a lot of folks that I've worked with before, they're either contributing as a full-time employee or part-time contributor. Yeah, but that's pretty much what we have on the team.
Wow.
That is a super comprehensive team. Love to hear it. What about the token? What's the use and need for a token? How's it gonna benefit this platform and incentivize and align traders?
Yeah, so tokens has a few critical utilities. First of all, right, we will use a significant portion, if not all, of our protocol revenue to buy back our Nemesis token, right? So that will be a long-term plan rather than manufacture a token and sell it. We want to attribute it with a fundamental way, right? And we really think that's a long way. That's like the long-term fashion to approach the relationship between token and product. Its product is going to drive the creation of value, and the value will essentially accrue on the tokens. So that's one. In terms of other utilities, you will gain trading fee rebates if you're holding more than a certain amount of tokens. And you will also get early access to our V1 and V2 version of the product in 1 year. So that's like the essential utilities of the Nemesis token. But yeah, we're definitely thinking about more options later down the road, like ecosystem participation or just partnership stuff, right? Integrating with more of the aggregators, and also increase the overall exposure, right, on our liquidity. So that is going to be another use case for the tokens, but the details are yet to be finalized.
I also have a question, if you don't mind. I noticed that you guys here mentioned that you're backed by was it A16Z? Can you talk a little bit about that relationship and maybe if that's open doors for you guys or what that relationship looks like?
Yeah, so we are not directly backed by Andreessen Horowitz. I think people are a little bit confused, but we are backed by District and LYVC, which are two strong partners we have from the early days. District is a launchpad that's backed by Andreessen Horowitz and initialized capital, and they invested in our pre-seed round at 20 million valuation. And same is LYVC, but LYVC is more like a VC rather than a launchpad, right? So that's our relationship. So you can say Andreessen Horowitz has a indirect exposure, or I think that exposure is already direct now because the deal is closed into Nemesis. But yeah, that's how things are structured financially.
Got it. Sounds good. Well, no, look, I think we got a really good view of what you guys are building. I think you guys have a really stacked team over there, really good product. Can't wait for the official launch. I know you guys are working on a lot. So as you get closer, if you revealed some alpha here on stream for the viewers, alpha on MCG as always. So if you'd like to come back and ever share more updates with us, feel free. But look, we appreciate you coming on, Peter. Really love what you're building and looking forward to seeing what you guys do here in the near future. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you guys for hosting, and yeah, I'll be looking forward to share more updates with the MCG community in the future.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Keep us in the loop, Pete. Well spoken. Sweet. That was wow, really comprehensive. I think they checked really most of the boxes you look for. Yeah.
Yeah,
great team, great
OMM is a real if it's a primitive that actually works, it's actually quite interesting. I know this was more EVM focused, but these types of mechanisms some of them are really fascinating. I mean, the old GMX mechanism was you could do spot trading as well as leverage trading through the same liquidity pool. So that was I guess kind of similar to this, but anyways, let's talk about the Believe reactions to the Believe stuff, and before our next spot here. Don't know if you guys had anything you wanted to specifically go through.
Well,
So
first
I guess
on that
let's
note,
pull it up. Yeah.
And real quick before we get into that too, tomorrow Tuesday at 3 p.m. East, we have Bobby from Dupe and Stig from Believe coming on. Bobby's gonna be able to kind of get on there and ask questions too. We know he's been very vocal, so it's gonna be an interesting conversation. It'll be Believe addressing some things, Bobby addressing why he's choosing to migrate, and then I think a back and forth. So super interesting conversation tomorrow. If you guys have questions, please, we're going to drop an announcement, I think, after this stream. And you guys can ask your questions under there. We'll make sure to get them to Stig. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely want to drop in tomorrow. That's going to be a huge stream. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can save the Believe take. I think this is probably going to take some time for us to actually get our full thoughts on, because I do want to share the article with viewers as well, the one that Stig wrote yesterday.
Okay, cool. You want to do it at the end of the show then? We could go.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it after. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So we have like 6-7 minutes. Do you want to anything you want to cover then before Ferris drops in here?
I mean, markets are freaking tanking right now.
Tanking, man.
Dude, I don't know if you guys want to. Let me just share that. Man, I can't wait to cook up a copy pasta to post later and troll the timeline. It's just gonna be fantastic.
Yeah,
But this is Bitcoin. Like, I mean, when you look at it in this way, it doesn't look like crazy terrible, as if, you know, if you looked at it like this, like, holy crap, it just looks like it's about to go to zero. But you know, we got to take things in context. I'm not convinced that you know, I was looking for a higher low, like right here. I was looking for a higher low to form on Bitcoin right there, but it didn't. So we'll see what Bitcoin does. But I think right now is not the time to predict, right? Not the time to get fancy and try to predict what's happening. Rather just be prepared for whatever.
The timeline wants you bearish right now, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I mean, look, it's like, again, a little disheartening. We look at something like Solana, which you can literally pull up a weekly time frame, and for 600 days, it just really hasn't done anything.
Yeah, it's like, you know, after Solana rallied from, you know, what was it, like sub $10 in 2022. I think it got to $8. I don't think it shows that quite well on this chart, but yeah, I mean, look, we haven't done a lot. We went up to, you know, the all-time high of 250 or 300 almost, I should say, back in earlier this year. But I mean, even before that, really, we've done nothing but gone sideways since, you know, call it March 2024. So I don't know. For me, it just makes the case that this could even be a more of an extended cycle. We haven't really seen, yes, like price action has been like, you know, not what we expected at all. A lot of people expected ETH to hold here and get above 5K. A lot of people expected Bitcoin to have already kind of make its way higher. People expected Solana to be above 300 by now. But I mean, to me, there's still, it tells me that there's still more room in this cycle, because nothing other than Bitcoin, nothing, like altcoins haven't really caught a run. I mean, ETH DATs started selling ETH before ETH even caught wind. I don't know if you saw that, Dom.
Dude, this cycle has been miserable for these altcoins, miserable. But hey, I think I probably do some shopping today with stables, not using my Solana because it's valueless at this point, but some stable shopping, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the thing that I'm looking at is, and this is a big reason why I love ICM so much.
Jesus, minus 10%.
Yeah, dude.
Holy.
Yeah.
I wonder why though. Let me see, what are equities doing right now?
I
mean,
let's see. Tesla's up on the day. But I think Apple, I mean, These weekly charts, bro. These
Left
weekly
curve
charts.
Dow. Left curve Dow. What was the guy's
Jones
name?
Rida.
Jones Rida, bro. He
Jones.
told all of us, bro.
Yeah, he said, let the market come to you. Don't try to, don't try to get fancy. Dude, the weekly charts on some of these stocks are insane, bro. Are insane. I mean, look, I think, again, this is why I love ICM so much. When you look at altcoins and you look at stocks, you realize that like altcoins have no value. Like there's a ton of top 100 altcoins that literally do absolutely nothing. They're just super inflated. They're price controlled. There's not much going on. On the utility side. Need the updated belief take.
Yo, we gotta help Spill out here. Honestly,
right,
we can't
all
let
right.
him go all day with that.
All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this this tweet here. Dom, did you get a chance to read?
I did.
Did you have a good take on this?
Yeah, so I guess TLDR is they base the believe mantra thesis right now is that it's really difficult for high quality founders to come on chain and launch a token because there's a stigma attached, because they have all the venture and the backing they need. So why would they need a token? And a token comes with stigma. A token comes with the community that's raging and angry all the time. And Believe said they're really focused on filling this gap by starting basically grassroots companies, right? They want to build communities. They want to build this social mobile app. So founders can come on, launch a token, and have like instilled communities and get instant product market fit and kind of go from that 0 to 1. And that seems to be the mantra that Believe is leaning into. We know they have kind of made attempts to they do CCM, right? Pasternak started as a CCM coin, right? Clout.me.
Mm-hmm.
And they've kind of demonstrated that they're interested in doing this over the last couple months with these belief scores with different things in app, where it just shows they're really leaning into the CCM meta. We've been like pretty much openly bearish on CCM, I would say, in general. There are some cool aspects to it, but it just seems like, I don't know, Believe's maybe kind of trying to take a different route here. I think they are focused on ICM. Their number one goal is to onboard those good founders. I think they just think it's going to start by building out a mobile app and like an ingrained community of holders and believers. That's the TLDR.
CCM from a live streaming perspective, or CCM from I'm a founder and creator of something and it might become a company one day or a product one day.
Yeah, I think it would be the latter.
Right.
Just
like we're more bearish on CCM in terms of like, live streaming. Like, not that we're live streamers.
bearish
but,
live streaming, guys.
yeah, but not bearish live streaming, but bearish like the concept of like you gotta bet on someone turning on their camera every single day and you're speculating on their live stream.
And even then, it's not like they're giving revenues from the live stream back to holders.
Yeah.
It's just, again, no intrinsic value. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's an interesting tweet. Not what everyone wanted. We wanted Ben to come on here and say something. Everyone says it, man. Stig is like one of the shining horses for Believe. Everyone's like, they don't pay you enough, Stig. And it's probably true, because Stig is the crypto native. He's the person that probably, made this decision to come on the timeline and tweet something where Ben's kind of just retreating, if you will. I don't know, man. I don't know. We can do an in-depth coverage.
Yeah,
after.
we can do something a little bit more in-depth later, but I think what they're saying here is they're trying to make the experience of building in crypto a lot better. And they've said that, it's more opportunity for traders, etc. Like, I don't know if I agree with that.
The thing is, there's no. I think
the current model has proven successful for traders.
Yeah, no, snipers maybe. I mean, look,
Snipers,
like there's a
maybe,
few
yeah.
of us that were really early and we DCA'd when everyone was bearish on ICM, and we all hit big, but like that's a very select few. 99% of people were chasing. But I don't know. I guess the comments are pretty bad. You want to go kind of read through some of the comments, see what the people have to say?
Jeez, all right, I'm scared.
Oh my.
Bobby from Dupe, Web3 apps are brutal for normies. The next billion users won't come from degens, they'll come from design. Everything needs to be dumbed down, and dumbing down takes far longer. The guy solving this has shipped multi-deca million user app since 18. It isn't crazy to think he'll do it again. He just sucks at talking about it, which is leading to a generational fumble.
my goodness.
Jesus Christ. Making believe feel like one tap magic instead of connect your wallet and learn
Stig
to tell
says,
that story.
yep. Look, we're gonna have both of them on tomorrow. We'll put out
Oh,
a tweet
man.
ASAP. It's gonna be interesting.
Yo.
I'm interested to see what Bobby has to say. Just migrated from Believe, by the way. So
Guys, tomorrow's stream, you guys want to come to that? Gonna have Believe. We're gonna have Bobby on. It's gonna be a very interesting convo.
We have Lumen up next, which is interesting as well because they migrated from Heaven to Pump Fund recently. So again, this is like Launchpad fractionalization everywhere. So
Read the Profit tweet. I thought the Profit tweet was good.
Profit. Obviously, bias is someone building a competitor or what used to be a competitor. Maybe I think, but I think this strategy makes sense for you guys. I don't know Ben personally, but if he really is a great app builder, it makes sense to use that edge for more mass market viral.
I mean, true. If he could build a stellar look, I think maybe we suffer from not wanting to use mobile apps in crypto Twitter because they have really no edge, right? Mobile apps, you can't trade faster than you can trade on terminals, and they're never really looking good. So maybe if Ben can put out a beautiful mobile app that actually attracts people, like maybe. I can see that angle, but you really got to do it right. I mean, you really got to do it right.
This tweet from Rambo here. Can you guys be clear for once? We are building a social app for normies, not a platform for crypto natives. Pivoting is fine, but not being transparent with your supporters is destroying your reputation. In the process of being more transparent. And this article is the first step. Wow. Okay.
But how many times have we heard that? You know,
yeah,
they say
like
they're going to
being
be transparent after Flywheel. This is the first tweet we've gotten realistically since Flywheel dropped, and it's like a put a band-aid on a wound kind of tweet.
Yeah, that's rough. Too little, too late. You sold us on a completely different vision, told us to believe, then pivoted without transparency. To this moment, we still don't have transparency, and that's
what I find crazy is the Flywheel tweet came out. The video was fire. Everyone for a hot second was like, "All right, yo, like Believe's back," and the price pumped. And then what changed in that? That was like later that day. Everyone's like, "Nah, this ain't it."
I'll give a quick TLDR on timeline. Firstly,
Yeah,
it was
please.
no clarification on the Flywheel system. 100% buybacks, cool. But is that automatic? Is that TWAPs to support a floor? There was no retroactive airdrop mentioned. People are like, well, you guys mentioned for the last 6 months you'll be doing retroactive airdrops because, you know, we've been waiting for a Flywheel for so long. Nothing clarified on that front. And then they go ahead and launch Kuro Beasts after saying they have like a nice pipeline of projects ready to launch. And Kuro Beasts is obviously just like dog shit. Not to mention they got hacked today, and I think liquidity pooled. I don't know what exactly happened, but Kuro Beast is at like 0, by the way, right now.
What?
I don't know about 0. I
That's
haven't
such
checked the chart.
Bad look, man. Come
Yeah.
Let me look at the chart. Let me pull up the chart on Moby real quick.
Then they promoted Greed, like a indie game that just was so mid. And it's just like, bro, they literally couldn't do anything right.
Jesus.
Like,
Jeez.
people are getting hurt from this, man. This is not funny. This is not good.
Yeah, this is rough.
I mean, you guys saw the worst of it. You're in the Believe Big Brains chat too. And there are people selling for millions of dollars negative UPNL or PNL, I guess.
Oh, some people are getting crushed right now. Yeah. But this ain't it. This definitely
Yo, Spill in the chat. Spill. Be nice to Ben. He's on vacation. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Oh, that's Olive. Change my name.
Oh, yo, Olive.
Dude,
what's
Olive,
up?
we got to figure this out, brother. This is number 3 change in what, a month?
Oh, Spill after that. Believe, yo, Olive Oil. What's up?
Ozaru saw it coming.
Yeah,
I don't know, guys. They got a lot of work to do. Not buying the dip right now.
Now, can I point out one thing? I saw Stig in the comments. He said something really interesting.
And guys, we got our next. We got Ferris in the chat. So let's wrap this in the next minute here, and then we'll tee up command line.
Sounds good. This is the last thing I'll say on this. He says, in response to Rambo kind of like talking about transparency. He says, to be completely honest with you, the original vision was actually crafted by CT. Could be wrong, but Believe never came out and said we are a launch pad for startups on chain. People just started running with it. Not an excuse at all, just pointing this out. That's very interesting for us to keep in mind. Bobby told us that, you know, on the podcast, he mentioned, hey, there wasn't an original vision for Believe. That had to be changed based on what came out of the community side. So I wonder if they're just kind of like pivoting to something completely different, since it was completely different from what CT envisioned.
That would just be so mind-boggling. It's like, dude, you have a product offering, you find market fit. Everyone tells you what you want, you make tens of millions of dollars from it. And then you're like, well, but we actually don't feel like doing that, so we're going to pivot. So like, again, you have no direction to start with. Everything shifts because you find product market fit, and now you're trying to run away from that. Again, it's like having a company with 20 offerings. You get no other business anywhere else, and you have one that just gets all the product market fit. Don't you want to narrow it down just to that one and just focus fully on that?
Yeah.
But it feels like they're like, well, let's actually remove that and focus on the one down here that no one's actually using. It doesn't make sense. It's not how you run a business.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I mean, I'm waiting to see what kind of launches these guys come out with. But you know, if what we saw already is any indication, you know, it's gonna be tough if they're launching, you know.
Well, we got the Lumen guys in here.
Yeah,
let's respect their time.
Yeah.
let's
Sorry, Ferris.
But interesting to have Lumen on.
This
right
is like the
during this.
biggest conversation happening right now on one of the biggest on Solana. So we're gonna bring him up, Ferris. Let's tee up Lumen if we can pull it up on X here.
Yep.
Tom.
Let me work on that real quick.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing great, and you?
Doing pretty good, all things considered.
Nice.
Let's see.
Well, look, Lumen, we're so Ferris, we're so glad to have you representing Lumen, coming on, talking about the product. You know, I was kind of looking in, reading the white paper over the weekend, was talking to a few chads about Lumen. There's a lot of people that are excited, man, and rightfully so. So definitely excited to jump into this convo. But before we get too deep on the tech side, let's just kind of start with you, your background. You know, there's a lot of people that have been saying that you've been heads down building since you are in the HeavenDex ecosystem. So I definitely want to get your take as, you know, as far as your experience building on that side. But, you know, tell us a little bit about your background first, and we can get to everything else.
Yeah, sure. Well, first, thanks for like the interest. That's very nice to hear. Since the migration, it's been very, very good overall. So yeah, to present myself, I'm Ferris. Since like the pump migration, I didn't show my face. I mean, you can still find it in like the first tweets. And yeah, I'm just a student. I'm that guy that started coding at 14 years old. So yeah, I have like personal experience, not so much actual work experience, and yeah, trying to build a project. And yeah, sound nice.
Nice. So you've just been a crack dev since from birth, pretty much. You've been you know, coding your entire life. Have you do you have any, so you don't have any like previous work experience? Have you built anything before, like, or is this kind of your first product?
I think it's my first actual project. I probably did few small projects, like very small things, not that developed.
Got it. Sounds good. So how did you stumble on the idea of Lumen? You know, what kind of led you to building something like this?
Well, Lumen first started like on GitHub. It was first an open source client, which allowed you to take all your code and send it on any AI. And the idea is it cleans all your code first and removes any useless file, etc. So you can just paste all your code in the prompt and start coding easily. And from that idea, basically, it's turned into Lumen and a more developed project into Web3 and Solana. And I think it went pretty well.
Very nice. So you've been building for a while. I want to just kind of start with the HeavenDex part of the journey. tell us a little bit about, what you were doing while you're on HeavenDex, what you were building then, and then we can transition to how that's changed to Pump Fund.
Of course. Well, I remember on Heaven Launch, basically the product was ready, but it was not as advanced, which means well, I think I'm just gonna give some context on what Lumen is for those who don't understand perfectly. But basically, you have code, you can send it on our database, it gets cleaned, it goes through AI, it's compared with every single project that exists online or inside our own database to check for plagiarism, etc. And the idea is you get paid for that code, even though it's a bit limited now, which means we only allowed 300 users. On Lumen, when we started, it was initially 100 users. We had no money at all, nothing to pay. Then, thanks to the launch, it was a thing. And yeah, during Heaven, basically, we were at the V1. Now we're at the V2. Like the website you see in red and white has been like completely redesigned. It was the initial theme was like purple, I think, and the user experience was way more different. So yeah, these 2 months allowed me to build like an actual professional product rather than that small side project you have.
Got it.
So,
Go
help
ahead.
me understand this, and sorry to break in here, Chill. But why is code valuable? And is this finished code, unfinished code? If I'm halfway done working with an app, I don't feel like finishing it. Can I upload it? Maybe just give me the full range of thoughts there.
Well, for what's valuable in code, to me, I've always had that vision that quality matters more than quantity, and what you don't find online is what's more valuable, and that's what we gather with Lumen. So that's why we have all that system with the plagiarism, etc. And the idea is, even if you don't have any finished project, if it works, we can take it. And the good thing is AI will actually grade a big part of it. And we have a quite specific way to grade that. So I don't know if I can share my screen, maybe.
Absolutely, we'd
Yeah.
love that.
Absolutely.
Let me do that. All right. Right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, do you want to? All right, there we go.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So that's the part of Lumen that basically everyone since the pump launch can't really see, since users are limited. So that's the dashboard. You can just see your stats. And the way the algo works is when you upload a project, I might upload one here just to show you. Let me find. So that's the web upload. So you get rewarded a bit less for uploading on web, but you can also upload via the client and you get rewarded more. So I will just upload here. You get
What's the difference there between web and client? Can you explain maybe for the non-technical people?
Yeah, of course. Well, for any non-technical user, that's definitely easier to do that from web. And by doing that from the client, you can actually choose what you need to send, which means you can actually not send half of your code if you want to, and you can send, like, if you want to skip
Bits
some
and
parts,
pieces.
you can just do it. It's way easier to do it on web though. So it got rejected as a duplicate because I already sent it. It's probably this one, I think. Probably not that, but anyways, it's another project, right? So as you can see, you have the value, tokens analyzed, the complexity. So what's the complexity? It's how pushed your code is. Then you have AI scores, which are the AI summary of the valuation scores. So for the valuation, we have the clarity, which is just how different the project itself is compared to any other project. For example, if you send a to-do list, it will be probably a 2 out of 10, well, if you send some actual thing that's not used often, then you will get a higher grade. For the architecture, it's the way you format your code and the folders, etc. So that's an easy score to get. And the quality is just how you write code, if it's qualitative or bad, if you put effort into that. So that's a pretty important score. And then the good thing with the AI summary is that's where you can get most keywords for anyone that wants to buy data. Imagine you want to buy something that has Web3 inside. So I will show you after, but you can just filter it. And yeah, that's what the user sees. So now that's the database, basically. I mean, part of it. So I will take a random project. Oh, wait, it doesn't want to open.
Don't worry, live demos are tough, so you're good.
Yeah. Oh my god, I think I will just copy that and put in my notes app.
Man, dude,
All right.
prepared.
Yeah, right.
Love it.
All right. So that's the internal stats. It's a bit more pushed. It's not formatted well here, since it's read by programs. But to make it simple, you have some of the stats you see, like the lines of code, complexity. Then you have internal stats, compression ratio. I won't explain everything, but basically, if you send something that's spam, that's useless, it won't go through. If you send something that's low effort, you won't get paid a lot, and that's the opposite. If you put effort into your project, you'll get paid a lot, and the system is just perfect for that. So I think there's one thing I can show you here, which is
really quick there, and apologies, I had to take a quick
sure.
bathroom break. But I want to ask, like, so the system basically allows developers to upload code and projects and then get it analyzed by AI, where they
Yeah.
can then get rewarded for novel, actual creation rather than just slop. Is that?
Yeah.
Do I have that? Okay, got it.
So help me understand as well, kind of on that note too, the target market audience here. Are you obviously targeting developers? What's the supply side? What's the demand side look like, right? Supply side is developers, demand side is obviously people that need AI. Can you just walk me through how you're going about that?
Well, for who wants that, mostly it will be any company that needs code to train any AI model, or any researcher, any lab. So if you want to fine tune a model, make a very specialized model, I think Lumen is definitely good. Or also, I thought of a small use case, since I did like the PAI integration very recently, as you saw. And the idea is to enable even small payments. So for example, if you're a student and you want to get something you can't find online, you can, for example, just find it here and download it, and yeah, you have your project, you see.
Got you.
So definitely a few use cases, and yeah.
How do you go and, champion this to, people that are looking to buy this stuff? How do you get it out there? How do you make it known that this is even an option available? Do you have competitors? What does this, like, I have no clue what this scene even looks like. So maybe tell me, what's the competition look like, and how do you go and push this to the people that need it?
I think one good thing with Lumen is it's so specialized that there's not that much competition. I mean, there probably is, but it's probably very private, and you can't really find that online. So yeah, it's not like
what kind of interest are you seeing? I guess I would ask though, from buyers.
well, they can get the high quality code they can't find online, and Lumen just solves that. There is no one on the market that does that. So imagine you want 10 million lines of code, then you would only find that on Lumen, for example, unless you want to scrape online. But doing that, you can't find things that are always qualitative, or you can't get that edge to push competition. What I mean by that is like, let's say OpenAI wants to buy my code. If only them get it, they will go further because they can just take what they want from Lumen. It won't be available online.
Yeah, no, I get that. I guess my question is, how much interest have you personally seen as Lumen? Are you seeing a lot of these buyers come in, or have you still not gotten to that point where you have a ton of demand?
Okay. Yeah, well, so far, it's an accumulation phase, so that's definitely not my interest to sell code in the
Got
next
you.
days. But yeah, we're pushing that, and we have a roadmap. Basically, now we're in the phase where we're trying to get 1 billion tokens, which is around we already are at 25% of that, and after that, the focus will start changing and shifting.
And then again, let's clarify. These aren't tokens as in the Lumen token. These are tokens in terms of
In the
AI. Can you
code.
kind of explain that to people?
Yeah, of
briefly?
course. To make it simple, 10 tokens is one line of code. So 1 billion tokens is 100 million lines of code, more or less. It's around that.
Cool. Thanks. Chill. I heard you take a deep breath there. I think maybe you were coming in.
Yeah, no, I had a question. So I saw that you guys actually started paying out developers already the other day. I think there was I believe it was like $10,000 in rewards. Can you walk us through number one, where are those rewards coming from? Is that like, are you guys generating revenue? Is that perhaps where it's coming from? And then of all of the um, um, developer activity you've seen on the platform already, is there anyone using that code that's been submitted to the platform?
Well, for now, first, where the money comes from. So on Heaven, we had that fee system, which means we gain some revenue based on the trading fees, and that's the same the same thing with Pump. And since we've got a lot of volume recently, we were able to do a big payment on like yesterday, I think. It was 10K. And yeah, it's 30% of 40% of the fees. I mean, the generated revenue from fees. And 30% goes into buybacks, and the other 30 goes for the infrastructure. And yeah.
Okay, so I got two questions here. How do you take this mainstream? It would be my first one, right? You want to get this in the hands of college kids, people coding who maybe could do this as a full-time side gig as to replace their personal income. How do you go mainstream with this? Because I think that is an enticing concept.
What do you mean by that? Like who I am aiming for by this?
So not so much who you're aiming for, but how do you take this
Mass
platform?
adoption.
Yeah. How do you? Yeah, that's exactly right, Josh. How do you gain mass adoption with this?
Well, first, since I launched on crypto, I already get some coders. That's a bit random, but that's just easy to find. And then just people talking between each other and pushing the project. And if I want to expand Lumen overall, I can just start making, start working on the marketing side. And I'm pretty sure since Lumen pays quite a lot, it would be very easy to stack a lot of users. So yeah, mostly developers for now. And with this stream, basically the objective is to show anyone, it can be even coders if they're interested to be in the waitlist, or any trader if they see potential in the project. Since I think it's very early, I think Lumen's potential can be pushed quite a lot. So yeah.
Got you. Okay, and then why Pump Fund? You left Heaven. Did Pump Fund throw a bag at you? They gave you some money. Is it like, do you think it's a great platform for ICM? What's the reasoning behind joining Pump Fund here rather than migrating somewhere else, just like a Meteor pool or who knows?
Well, initially I wanted to go potentially on Base or BNB, but I decided to go on Pump because I saw just I couldn't see Lumen pushing in the future if it was not on an active platform. And the thing is, Pump has always been that rank 1 platform. It won't lose hype. It won't lose its user base. You see, you hear Pump Fun, it's always the number 1. So that's our choice directly.
Interesting.
How are those fees? Can you maybe explain the fee sharing platform or system they have set up? I'm not maybe fully familiar.
Well, so far, you mean like wait, which fees exactly?
Trading fees, transaction fees. Yeah. Are you guys getting like 2%? I know Believe has a 2% in, 2% out fee, right? So every buy and sell is taxed an additional 2%, and a lot of that goes back to the creator. How does that work for Pump Fun?
I don't know the exact percent, but I have so far $50,000 were made, and a lot was both back in the chart. A big part was also used for the payouts, and yeah, it will just keep going that way.
So I do have a quick question, because I think the demand from developers paying people on this platform is really critically important. I mean, you can tell me if that's true or not. Like, trading fees can get you so far, but at some point the business of this kind of needs to work. Have you had developers come in naturally and put money onto the platform, or is that still like a core focus? Just trying to like close that success story, case study kind of thing.
Well, for developers, on the first beta phase, we didn't have that much developers, only probably 5 or 6 maximum. But since we went like from 100 users to 300, and from that I've seen a lot of people just talk between each other, and it's like the word spread. So people were talking about Lumen, developers to developers, saying like, hey, you can gain money through that. And I think from that we've gained a lot of users, not mostly from the Web3 community, but mostly internally.
Right. Okay. I mean, keep working on trying to get people to pay for this. Like, there's countless stories of developers like subcontracting out their work when they're supposed to be coding it themselves. And like, subcontracting is a widely known thing. I think that's what this platform is used for. But yeah, if you can make, that's like what Fiverr is, right? If you can make that work, it's potentially a big business, but definitely got to keep cracking on that.
Yeah.
But this is a cool product. Very, very good. Like, look, this looks amazing. I think you've got one half, you got the supply side figured out really well. It's just dialing in on the demand side. If you can figure that out, I think you got a home run here.
Yeah. Thank you.
So maybe give us an idea of the roadmap. What's your kind of next steps? What you're excited for, and what's coming up?
Well, recently I've been deving mostly, just to make sure everything goes well, especially through the migration, which was a bit hard to manage, but now it's done. And now, thanks to that migration, I was able to make quite a lot of contacts. And wait, I won't reveal who it is, but there will be big partners soon. It should be announced at some point, but I have no date for now. It will be mostly on how Lumen stores the data, so it will definitely help.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's so important about that partnership? So storing data, like give us a little bit more information on that.
Well, as you know, I mean, no, you probably don't know, but the data is stored on my own VPS, virtual private server, and the idea is to scale that more and push that data into, for example, I will say other names, but that's different, for AWS, Google Cloud Storage, things like that. And that's just where you store data. And from that, the good thing is I'm making connections in that data domain. And maybe even before the roadmap, Lumen could get potential buyers. So it would be very nice.
Got it. Got it.
Can you walk us through the token a little bit? Maybe why you need a token, how it's used in the ecosystem, and the benefits to having one.
Well, I think the biggest benefit of just having a token, I mean, for most tech projects, it's just to fund the company itself, just be able to provide to users what they need. Here, I promised payments to any contributor. It was done thanks to the token. I think if I've never done that launch, we would not be able to pay users until we gather even more data. You see, if you don't pay, you don't get data, and that's the opposite goes through. I can't get a user base if I don't prove to my users I can't pay them, and thanks to the token, it's a thing.
Nice.
Would you say that's inherently deflationary since your token is a payment model? How do you plan to keep it from, or would you say that's inherently inflationary? Excuse me. How do you plan on keeping the token model, either flat or deflationary?
Well, it's not that hard. On our first data cell, what will happen is just a big 20% buyback, and the idea would be to put 20% of Lumen's revenue on the long term on the token.
Okay, there we go. I guess simple as.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts, Chill, Josh. Anything you guys got? I think that really covers my angle.
There was someone that said this is the next CLED or something like that. I don't know if you have a comment to that. Like, do you see yourself as a similar business to CLED or not? Something different.
Well, I think yes and no. The thing with CLED is, first, they don't especially focus on code, which is a complete different domain. And the thing with code is you can't just accept it and sell it like that. You have like different levels of code. As I said, it goes through the evaluation engine. It has to be graded. Without that, it doesn't have value. And also, code you find online usually doesn't have value since it has already been scraped, and it's quite easy to do that. And
Yeah, I think, once you start comparing one product to another product, you kind of lose the plot. Where it's like nothing will ever be. It's like everyone's like, oh, this is the next Solana. Well, nothing will ever be the next Solana. So, yeah,
That's
making
a
your
good
own
clarification, Dom.
Yeah, making your own way is always the right thing to do. So, I like that you're not gonna kind of ride off the coattails of CLED. Do your own thing.
Yep.
Awesome. But no, I think we got a really good view of what you're building at Lumen, how you differentiate yourself, and I think I was a little bit unclear as far as the timeline. They also made the CLED comparison. I think it's just more of a quick blurb to help people understand. But I'm glad that we had this interview, so we kind of got a little bit of a deeper look into what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how everything works. So Ferris, we appreciate you coming on the stream here today, and we know you're building out a lot. So as you pursue the roadmap, as you come out with other updates, we'd be happy to have you back on the show, and you can always share more with the community.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, no problem. Appreciate your time today, man. All the best.
See you.
Cool. What do you guys think? Initial thoughts? Anything?
You need
Josh,
people to buy your service at the end of the
Yeah.
day. I mean, your business model can't be predicated on trading fees a lot of the time unless you're a financial crypto product. But if you're building something like this, to me, it just seems like kind of like I said the name of the company. I can't remember. But yeah, I think it's interesting if you can make it work. Hey, I go here, drop $200, get some code that I need. But again, I'm not a developer. I don't know if developers need that.
Yeah, I agree, and I think they maybe have to think a little bit more on the distribution side, like you said, Josh. The word of mouth thing is cool, but word of mouth is not going to get you to be a top company putting out what you want to be. So I think maybe a little bit broaden the scope of what they're looking to do and maybe push a little harder in that field. But cool. I mean, cool concept. Not quite.
Yeah, no, I like the concept itself. I think it just takes time. For someone like him, I think it really showcases why ICM and launch pads and stuff are they play a key role. The Lumen community is absolutely huge. Like
Crushing.
they're crushing right now. They've rallied around this dev. They love what he's building. But I think with this, he said this couldn't be possible without the token. And I think that's a good thing. And I think it's something worth noting as well. Like, you don't want to just, like, as Josh was saying earlier, just rely on trading fees and things of that nature. But I do think the permissionless nature of ICM like allows people like them, the team at Lumen, to come in with an idea, have a community rally around you. And now he's literally just like building it out. And, he said he's going to unveil a partnership and things of that nature. And, if he can just kind of tweak some things, it'll be really nice. But I really just,
if people start paying for it, it will be extremely valuable for sure. So
that'll be the indicator. Once you start seeing some uptick.
Look for people to buy things. People are buying things. That's a business.
On the topic of migration, we have a friend of the show, Gavin.
I think we get in early because Dom and I have a meeting that popped up, and we want to have a chat with Gavin. So we're going to bring Gavin on a little early here. Oh,
Gavin.
Yo.
We got him. We got him on. Yeah,
Josh, and you can share my screen too.
Yeah. Sorry, let me pull it up, Dom. And Gavin, fresh cut, bro. You were right off.
Literally just left the barbershop.
Let's see.
I was gonna be late because there's so much traffic.
Let's see the fade. Give us a little 360.
Come on.
Okay.
Clean.
Don't play with the kid. Don't play with the kid.
So should we?
The Dominicans, man, I'm trying to tell you, if you're not getting your hair cut by a black barber or a Dominican barber, you're missing out.
Joe, should we give him the lore on our barber or no?
Yo, give him the lore down.
Dude, it's so funny, guys. Obviously, in crypto, everyone works with each other across the world. Come to find out, when Chill and I have known each other for years and years and years. But when we started working together more closely because of the show, we discovered that we not only live extremely close to each other, share the same area code, we go to the exact same barber. That's
crazy.
It's crazy, bro. Crazy.
And then like a little expanded lore on this. My family actually lives in Pittsburgh, even though I'm from Toronto, Canada. But then I find these guys
I didn't know you were from the Six.
are Yinslers too, which is wild, or like Chill's, someone's from that area. So
y'all got ties back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm Toronto guy,
all roads lead to Pittsburgh.
That's right.
Pittsburgh, center of America, right there. Boom,
Let's go.
Right.
Gavin,
let's
I
jump
guess
into this, y'all.
Before we even get to migration, we have to start square one. Like, just where's your head at, Gavin, with Paragon? What's maybe been some hurdles, issues with Believe? Just full thoughts, bro. Full
Uncensored thoughts.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
For sure. Okay. It's been rough, honestly. It's been rough. Obviously, we're in the group chat. You guys are probably like the second pair of boots on the ground behind the actual Believe team. Like, you guys are scouring the social media for all types of data, all types of information. Like, you guys are always the first to know like bits of anything. Dude, the sentiment has been terrible. It has been super rough for founders, for traders, just basically anybody within the Believe ecosystem. It's been very hard to stay above water. We have seen that in the CT Twitter posts of traders on what they think of Ben Pasternak, what they think of the Believe ecosystem, what they think of the flywheel. None of it has been good. There's really not been a single positive sentiment towards any of those things. And even if there is not negative, for the most part, it's just cope. It's just a lot of cope. A lot of people just trying to like save their bags and stuff. And then when you look at it on the founder side of things, it's been like rough on the back end. Getting communication with people on the Believe team, days unanswered, getting sort of information, getting questions answered super, super far hit or miss. So that is already a hurdle when you're making a project, when you're founding, when you're basically putting your reputation in a sense, like your money in another platform's hand. It gets super stressful. So I feel like as a founder, it's been rough these past couple of specifically weeks, I would say. Specifically
Hey,
weeks. It's been
Gavin, can you I just want to double tap on this. I've heard this feedback on just the response time from the team. You know,
Yeah.
one school of thought you could say that the team is just hyper focused on product. There's no customer support there. They did seem like they had some customer support when Nick and Rainey were part of the team, but just in your point of view, like what kind of questions are you asking them or outreach? Like, is it more like just like directional questions, or these like technical questions that are impacting your business that is going left on red for days at a time? Like, I'm a sales guy. Customer support is number one for me. You know, if a customer comes back to me, I'm on that. Like, to me, that seems natural and innate, but I don't know. What are your thoughts there?
I feel like I'm a business owner first, right? My project of Paragon isn't just fully crypto integrated. It's integrated with an actual Web2 business where I deal with customers daily. I just sent Dom a screenshot. I am super busy. I have employees, I have emails, I have meetings. I just sent him a screenshot of basically our official Discord server. Since 2:47 p.m. yesterday, I've had 50 new people join my Discord. That's 50 individual users that are joining to see what's up with our services, what's up with our business. I would say 80% of those people instantly DM me. They instantly DM me some sort of question. Hey, what are the price points? Do you service people from this area? I answer all of those DMs.
This isn't crypto. This isn't crypto native.
These are not crypto. These are normal people from our YouTube, from our TikTok. These are actual consumers. I don't believe in being too busy to not answer a message, even if it's so quote unquote unimportant to some people's standpoint or their whatever. You can respond to a message. You can straight up respond to a message, especially if you have constant influx, constant DMs. You can organize, like we live in 2025. There's so many tools to organize, to streamline the process of communication. So yeah, I was asking questions that were pertinent to my business that were not getting answered, that were leaving my traders in the dark or my investors, my holders. Like, it was super frustrating I remember there was like some dev cell bug. I don't remember if you remember when Believe first came out, but when somebody within the app sold on the ICM chart, and I'm pretty sure on the Photon chart, and I think on Dex as well, it showed dev cell. You guys remember that?
Yes,
I remember a little bit.
It was early buyers.
Early buyers.
Like insiders, yeah.
It would just show a weird thing. I was like, my chart was getting destroyed from it. I had like every single day was a constant firefight because those early investors would sell $5, something like that. But on the chart to a normal user, it would just look like insider sell or dev sell. I remember for a week straight, I was just constantly dealing with like, yo, none of us we're not selling anything. It's fine. I reached out to the Believe team, took 4 days to get a response. They're like, oh, we'll figure it out. They finally figured it out. And I said, okay, well, I literally took a drastic hit. I remember there was tweets about it, like, oh, the Paragon team is dumping tokens, blah, blah, blah. I was like, can you guys make some sort of like announcement to save other Believe projects? Can you guys even reply to my project to like show the authenticity? Like, you guys are in communication with me. I've shown I'm docs. Like, is there any way we can amend this? No, unfortunately, no. They never made a tweet about it. They never replied to it. And the only thing that suffered was my project.
Dude, that's such an easy win just to like put something out about it.
Yeah,
just say, hey, like we uncovered something here. We fixed it real quick. Like,
yeah, we fixed it real quick. I brought it to their attention. The engineer went behind and found it. It was great to figure out find out the answer. Oh, okay. So it's not, none of us knew what it actually was. But we finally do figure out what it was. I'm like, okay, can you make an announcement so future launches aren't concerned, or can you reply to me basically so you can reassure my holders that, oh, it's actually something on the Believe in? Because there was a ton of stuff that people weren't, the liquidity looked weird. All sorts of things was different than the normal trading aspect on Believe, but none of that stuff was ever clarified or addressed.
In their defense, they're putting a lot of time towards talking to Kuro Beasts, so it's probably pretty hard to get back to everyone else, right?
Yeah, dude. So it's like
Jesus.
so it's like you gotta really like measure like the
Stop,
importance of
dog.
it. And like at the end of the day, like do Paragon, you know what I'm saying? Like Bitcoin, like no, we're not as important as Kurobis. Like that's really what it boils down to. So it's all good. It is all good that you have a multi-million-dollar e-commerce shopping platform on your launchpad that is doing tons of revenue, that isn't scared to show their face as a founder and vocalize their opinions, and CT loves them. That doesn't matter because Kurobis know. Like we got to invest in these game tokens.
So
That's-
Kevin, on
that's
a,
the future.
Genuinely on a good note, though, Josh and I chose a part of this conversation, mentioned this too. It honestly feels like Paragon might be a better fit for Pump Fun anyway. It seems like you're geared towards gamers. You're kind of geared towards that community. I can't say the same thing for every other project, but
Yeah,
maybe
1000%.
maybe give us insight into your decision. And I can pull that tweet back up. Your decision in going with Pump Fun over someone else. You know, I know you had a conversation with Rain, the Pump Fun team, maybe Elon. Just give us some insight there.
Okay. First off, I've messaged Pasternak a month and a half before my first launch. Before I launched Paragon. I mentioned I really love what he's doing. What I'm incorporating. Let me see if I can pull it up. I can zoom it out.
He got
Yeah,
receipts.
I messaged him.
Fresh
A
cut,
good-
fresh receipts.
Yeah, I messaged him about a good month or so before I launched the token. And then I proceeded to message him throughout the process of launch, to post-launch, to the day after launch, to days after launch, after interviews, after announcements and stuff like that. The only response I ever received was okay. I sent Dom a screenshot. That's the only ever reply I ever got from the founder of Believe. Now, I feel like back then Believe wasn't that jumping like it was like 2 to 3 months after that period of time. My migration to Pump, I messaged Alon and he responded back in 15 minutes. And
Yeah,
I had
that's the feedback.
That's
the feedback I've been hearing, bro.
I don't know how this guy is everywhere all at once. He must be on like methamphetamine or something. Like this guy is all types of places. He responded to me. He started a group chat with me and my CT mod Trev, who basically handles everything crypto wise. Just super down to earth, chill guy. Asked what our project about. Really was into it. Connected us with the Migrate team, and then been talking to Rain. Obviously, I was talking to Rain when he was on Believe. He was the only person I could really get at him, and maybe like Taylor, Nick. When Nick was there, Nick was probably like the first point of contact. But then behind him, Rain and Taylor. But I mean, Rain was just constantly assisting us with the migration talk and stuff like that. We were weighing the pros and cons. We were talking about it. And then Alon joined the group chat and was chatting it up with us. And I give this example. Oh,
this is what I keep hearing. Not just from you, but everyone says Elon, despite being the founder of the largest launchpad in existence, is extremely responsive. Like this guy is always taking care of his people. He's quick to respond. He's quick to innovate. The team's working hard. And I did find that really interesting. And
yeah,
so, you're confirming.
To that point, like Elon is super tapped in with his ecosystem. I mean, we've seen how he's tapped in with memes, right? Like he'll post a meme or he'll post a whatever. And like it's something that just happened in the so he's like really aware of what's going on. So I have no doubt that you guys will be extremely taken care of.
Yeah, I want to like. It's interesting. I gave this example in the BBB chat, and I was like, all of us founders are basically we own our own shops in some shape or form. It's a form of commerce. We're selling something. Believe is basically a farmer's market. It's an outlet store for us. The promises and the reasons for us to come and do our commerce at this Believe farmer's market, right, and sell our product is we get a roof overhead. Things are taken care of. It's basically the difference between renting a home and actually buying a home. You can call your landlord up to fix all these issues. You can, I need somebody to cut my grass. All that stuff gets taken care of. You pay a little bit more, but you know that everything else is taken care of. So when you come to Believe and you're basically selling your commerce there, you expect the place where you're selling all these shops to be advertised by the actual building, which is Believe. Believe really never did any marketing. They really never backed any of their products. In a sense, they never really believed in any of their products. So it's weird to basically go to this super niche corner of Believe, and there's no signage, there's no commercials, there's no advertisements. Basically, hey, consumers, come shop at the people that are selling stuff at my place. And then so it just causes projects to suffer. And so whereas when you get to Pump does appreciate its projects. They do get behind their projects. They vet them thoroughly, right? But at the end of the day, they want their platform to succeed. So then they want their founders to succeed. I think it begs the question, does Believe want its platform to succeed? Because it never got really behind its founders. And we had the flywheel drop, and we had two of the big launches that they had planned, I guess, which was like Kuro and Greed. The Greed post got deleted. Like it's just weird. It's weird, especially for, I mean, a $40 million treasury. You can buy skills. You can buy developers. You can't be making mistakes with that much money. Like you can buy your way to making the right choice.
So Gavin, do this for us. We have Stig coming on tomorrow with Bobby. It should be a pretty interesting, maybe fiery.
Oh, that's
stream.
gonna be super. Yeah, that's gonna be super.
That's gonna be fireworks.
That's gonna be
bro.
super.
And again, we're not here to like bash or grave down Believe. We ultimately
No,
really
not at all.
Succeed.
By the way,
But
we love Believe.
I mean, Believe. But I started on Believe. Like I'm not grave dancing at all. Like I'm not saying like, oh, this is the better. Everybody should like. No. What Dom said, circling back, yeah, Pump is more geared towards degenerate gamers and streamers. Pump has a whole streaming section that they really want to accelerate. I offer stream setup services, optimization.
Ooh.
Like it's just more. It's
a natural fit.
It's a natural fit. I didn't even think about that, dude. We're gonna have all the CCM creators on Pump Fun using Paragon services. But so, like I was saying, Gavin, do me a favor. When we have Stig on tomorrow, we're taking community questions and stuff. What is one tip of advice or one question, concern, or comment you would have for Stig when he comes on from the Paragon team? We'll relay the message
from the Paragon team. I mean, I feel like I have so many. I need
gotta do one.
One.
Because we're gonna have a million come in.
Yeah, 1000%. I 100. It might even be similar questions amongst founders and stuff.
And feel free to DM them to us later too. You don't
for
have
sure.
to think about them on stream. But if there's anything that pops to your head,
I think my main question would be, why would the team be aware of the amount of money invested into their company, knowing the current market economy, knowing that money isn't cheap? Why guilt people for selling and psyop people to keep buying or to keep holding, knowing that there was no line of communication that was going to come down the pipeline or major progress or catalysts that would not just mentally reassure your investors and the traders, but also financially reassure them. As a founder, as a company owner with employees, and as a project founder with investors, if I knew there was something that I could do that required 10% effort, but it received me 60% gain, not me directly, but for my investors, I would do it. So yeah, that's my question. Why would the team basically string along investors in the BBB chat, knowing there was a large amounts of money on hand for nothing to be delivered and for it to be turned into a loss, like the odd time to sell message and stuff like that? That's super confusing to me.
And I'll even add to this. It's interesting. Believe's predicated their whole brand on believing, having faith, conviction, but you can't borrow conviction. You have to build it, right? And it's interesting. Believe hasn't given us anything to build conviction off of. They've been asking us to borrow it from things they say. And I think it kind of circles back to, if you want to build this culture of believing, excuse me, in a product, you have to let people build their own conviction. They can't just borrow it from Stig or Ben or Taylor. Every time they say something's going to come and they continue to underdeliver. It's got to be the opposite. So
yeah,
I do see where you're coming from there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird. Like I said, I own a business and I also own a project. If I knew I could make a tweet that didn't say anything super crazy, didn't promise anything super crazy, but it had positive effects for my investors and my holders and my customers, I would do it without a question. I would want the people that are believing in me and trusting in me and supporting me to be taken care of. And so I felt like that was done with Rain's video that was supposed to believe V2. It was a super,
Cool.
super simple edit. I mean, the whole believe eco ate off that. I remember I was up like 40% on my chart. Dupe was flying, Orgo was flying, literally everything was flying off that tweet, including Launchcoin. Launchcoin was up like 30% in an hour or two. And then for him to get fired the next day, I was like, okay, that's super interesting because your believers are getting rewarded, but so it's like that trend isn't being upheld or done. It was just super weird. So like now we're looking at the chart and stuff, and all those times that, I mean, like MCM was crashing out, it wasn't really crashing out. He was just giving valid concerns on what the deal was, what's happening. And so now there's just a ton of people that are in a loss here.
So from your point of view, I think you have a really interesting perspective as a founder. I mean, we have a perspective from like the traders in the trenches, but you know, from your perspective, how are you viewing the Believe ecosystem right now? Like, for a long time, I viewed it as like still kind of trending upward, right? Like, still got some, some changes to be made, but we got the flywheel coming, etc. Those things kind of helped us to kind of hang on for a little bit. And I could only imagine as founders, probably for you guys as well, you're thinking, ecosystem is going to actually get jumping again, probably means more support for you guys. How are you thinking about the ecosystem now? Or like I guess even looking at it in the rear view mirror, perhaps, but like, how are you viewing it?
I would feel like the flywheel was something to look forward to. I felt like a lot of people had an idea of what the flywheel was going to be, right? Maybe the top 10 or 15 Believe projects. Every 10 or 20% of the fees generated in the Believe ecosystem would get twapped back into those 15 projects. And then the other 70 or 80 would be twapped back into the Believe coin. So it's like a kind of like a recycling method where the top projects would constantly be reinvested in by quote unquote believers, but also the main coin would also get pumped up into the more trading that would happen in the ecosystem. That's just what I would think as a business standpoint. But then the flywheel came and it was super underwhelming. It was beyond underwhelming. So I don't know what to look past the flywheel drop. I mean, that was really the only thing that was promised to really like come and change the game, right? That's what people were sitting on the edge of their seats for. So I can't really say that I could see a positive uptrend because the only other updates I think are coming are mobile app updates. That's not comparable to a flywheel. That's not comparable to supporting the projects in your ecosystem or advertising them or making sure they're taken care of. So I don't know. I'm not going to say it's a negative. I don't say I have a negative viewpoint on the ecosystem because there's still a lot of good projects in the Believe Eco, but I definitely don't think there's a positive outlook on it. I think it's definitely stagnant. And I mean, the team being super silent after flywheel launch and after two super bad launches post flywheel launch that were supposed to be the golden child. I think we're going to see next week probably when Ben's back in Greece.
the eco projects TWAP thing, that I swear that was something Ben alluded to on his chat with Bobby. That podcast.
He did allude to it.
And I totally forgot about that. That was missing.
Yeah,
and
because that was the whole thing.
Yeah, like that single-handedly, even if they just did like a percent, quarter percent, or like 25%, 20%, that would stick. Like the Believe projects would stick along for that, right? And thus the traders would stick along for that, and thus Launchcoin narratively would stick along. But they kind of they forgot the glue. The glue is the community, liquidity, and traders, right?
Yeah.
Project founders coming through, and we speak from our perspective. Like I think that's the thing that people are trading, yes, but the glue is the liquidity, the vibes, the charts doing well and outperforming. That's what attracts, liquidity attracts more liquidity. That's
you could even do a whole model around that too, right? Where it's like, here, you guys want to reward long-term believers, stake your Believe tokens. Believe builds up a treasury of these 10 to 15 projects it's been topping, and you can stake your Believe tokens to actually get pro rata dividends of the ecosystem project again. And then
Right.
that's me saying, hey, I won more Paragon. I'm a believer in Paragon. I'm going to stake my belief and I get pro rata distribution of Paragon. And so continuous TWAPs, believers get more of each token, believe token goes up because we have less in circulation. Just the whole thing they could have done there.
And yeah, I mean, we're sitting on call and we brainstormed up an idea in 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If we had $40 million, I'm pretty sure we could make that happen. But yeah,
No.
but I guess that, I mean, that's what like makes me believe to think that's not something they wanted to do, right? Because it's really hard to not do that. It's really hard to like miss the mark. So
Yeah,
like, I don't know, it makes you think like, okay, what is the actual angle here?
We got to pivot. Let's talk about what you got going on, man. Believe.
For sure.
So you just migrated.
Yeah. So migration happening. We're in contact with migrate.fund. Everything's going to be swapped over on a one-to-one basis. Users are going to be able to claim it through the portal and get the actual existing Paragon on the new pump back. I'm sorry that the video is just super loud in my headphones. My fault.
Sorry.
But yeah, since we're migrating supply, we're basically gonna when we talk to the migrate.fund guys, they basically said that we're gonna get like a percentage of the SOL that we burned back. So we're pausing burns right now just because the tokens are going to be reset to 1 billion on pump. But all of the tokens that we've burned, we basically get that amount back in SOL, and we're actually going to buy it back at the market cap and burn it. So that's what it's going to get reset back down to the market cap. We have way more production with our PTU utility coming out, way more screens, stuff like that. We're going to see more features. Yeah, it's been super busy. I feel like on the market side of things, paired with the market being super down, that big liquidation event that happened, and even I feel like today, the market's down pretty bad. Really just been focusing on the actual business because we know the business that does good, we attract more buyers, we can introduce them to Paragon no problem. So that's really what's been on the mind. I feel like I've been dealing with more firefighting with the Believe Eco and the market than like actually wanting to do work. But I mean, I'm founder, I'm the business owner. It is what it is.
So, and one thing I want to touch on, and we got to bounce quickly, shortly here. Chill might be able to hold it down for a bit. But that being said, the first time we had you on, we were, I guess, trying to gauge how often people would be using the Paragon tokens to buy services, and how much that would result in burning. Can you maybe give us an inside look at how consistent that's been? Has it been growing in terms of like people using the token, etc.?
Yeah, it's been pretty consistent. It's been grown. I wouldn't say like a 17% increase. I want to say like at market valuation at a certain point, and how long? What's the date? I want to say like $37,000 worth of revenue in Paragon that's been used, and that's just not even by the fully customer base. So, like I said before, we do the big push. We want to make sure we have all of our ducks in a row. But yeah, people are loving it. I literally just had a guy in the general chat just talk about the token and redeeming it and stuff like that. People are using it from lower income countries like Bangladesh and just a lot of places that really can't afford 60 USD. So it's just a nice alternative for them to be able to receive a premium service at a discounted price utilizing Solana.
This is an interesting concept too. These are customers that you might not have had in the past just due to the cost of entrance, the barrier of entrance there. Are you seeing a lot of that when it comes to purchases?
Way more. I'm seeing way more people. Like super like Bangladesh, places in India. I have a guy from Guam. A lot more people from. I can check our geographic stats. A lot more people from Australia. Like just the conversion rate that's super high for US dollar. People are utilizing the Paragon token.
That's interesting. What's up? So what's going on here? We got this video pulled up.
Oh, so we have the
cameras,
the Windows Ascension. So it's a feature on PTU. I remember one like the first or second interviews I was having with you guys. The CPU process count, the offload of your performance for certain tasks. Windows Ascension is basically a button you can click, and we'll have a HUD for you to choose what tasks you're doing. Gaming, streaming, content creation, rendering, AI computing, and basically gears your computer to task that. It kills other unessential background tasks, basically just ascending your computer, hence the name Windows Ascension. So that's just one of the super cool features that we have coming, and we just wanted to do a little quick showcase on it.
Sweet.
So-
I'm gonna let you guys take this. I gotta bounce. Okay.
Okay.
Do
Peace
your
out, Dom.
thing. Do your thing.
Yeah,
I
good
got
talking to
a
you.
question for you. So like I guess you're going through this migration. Like, is it how is that gonna work? Like, is it just gonna be a new launch, or is it just gonna be like at the similar market cap? Like, how's that
Yeah,
gonna work?
so Migrate.fund basically handles everything. They make a new contract, they make a new pool, they talk to the pump team, and it's basically a private launch. It like instantly gets bonded, no snipers or anything like that. They've bonded a lot, like the Pay AI, the X402 network they've migrated before. It's basically like a mirrored 1-to-1. It's just on pump, and all those tokens are held basically in placeholders. Our users that basically claim those tokens and have confirmation that they hold the Believe Paragon in their wallet, they go to the migrate.fund website that's set up and they basically claim it. Yeah, it's pretty simple. The way they explained it, they've done it a bunch of times. My CT manager has done it a bunch of times. So it should be super hassle free. Literally
Gotcha.
top 2-3 minutes to claim your tokens, and then they'll show up in your wallet. And it's just for the new launch pad.
Got it. So you now get the official pump CA, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll get
nice.
the new pump CA, retire the Believe CA.
So I guess like go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I just want to ask actually how we see Pump being successful in gaming and streaming outside of crypto Twitter streaming like ours, but like how do you have these conversations on your YouTube and your streaming? Like how do other people, how do normie gamers perceive Pump? Like is it aligned to that or?
A lot of people have been streaming on Pump. I think with the creator incentives for streaming, I think that's something that's never been done before. I definitely think Alan is working on a method to more incentivize trading for these streamers, because really there's no reason to trade on these creator coins and accept hype. But I think he's trying to work on something to basically incentivize streamers to reach these certain caps, at a certain market cap, these features unlock. But I feel like the streaming on Pump is just the beginning. I want to even say video uploads would be super nice. Uploading content on Pump and even having like a chart on Pump. I don't know, but I feel like he's really leaning into the content creation aspect on Pump, and that's something they want to focus on. But also ICMs is definitely where they're also pivoting to.
Yeah, what do you think the play is there for Pump? And Chill, I'll get back to you in a second, but I want to ask this
No, go
because
ahead.
to me, I say streaming is a bit of a dead end for them a few times, just because I just don't think you can compete with the distribution of X, Twitch, etc.
Yeah.
Like if we
Big
streamed on
Kathy
Pump,
would.
look, we have 3,600 people that have tuned into MCG. Like our stream would not have 3,600 people
On Pump.
on Pump. Like
Yeah.
Gainsey, he's sponsored by Pump, and he can like pull like 100 people. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I just to me the numbers don't compute, and streaming is all about audience. Like
Yeah.
it's really
1000%.
all about audience. If you don't have audience, you don't have sponsors. If you don't have sponsors, you don't have a business. You can't make money. Right. And then on the other hand, it's like, oh, okay, if you issue a token, is that your business? Well, yeah, but it's also comes with a lot of strings attached. Right. So
1000%.
I don't know what your thoughts are there.
I think the gain or the race to basically break into the quote unquote normie cycle is what a lot of founders are after. I mean, like Ben even admitted it. He wants to believe to be this super one-stop shop for investing in things that just normies can download off of at the Apple Store, and they can invest in things and see their holdings go up and down. Like I at least that's what I think he's getting at. He's been successful in past ventures, but this is crypto, so it may be a rough, rocky start for him to get used to that. Where I feel like Alan, he also wants to basically break to the race of having a mobile app which is already the Pump Fund screener, to kind of break into the normie section of trading and stuff like that. And then he also wants to break into the content stuff. I just think you have to go off a consistent history and background. I feel like Alan is definitely more crypto native, Web3 native. So even if he is late to the game, I think his experience and, I mean, just to play it bluntly, his pockets, it can help him win the race on both fronts. So if we don't see the vision on streaming right now, I think nobody's really better equipped to solve or handle that other than Alan.
Sky Treasury. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a treasury. Like you can't fail. It's very hard to fail. It's hard to fail.
Yeah. Gavin, look, I loved the comment you made about people in other countries buying your services at a discount using PRGN. Again, like this is why I'm here. I'm here for those kind of case studies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta hop to a call with Dom, but I just thanks, man. You've been
Of
a
course.
great person for this eco. I'll let you and Chill kind of keep chopping it up. And Chill,
sure.
if you do Trader Radio, bro, go
Bet.
for it. But yeah,
That sounds good. No,
Take care,
yeah,
take
have
care,
fun.
Josh.
Have fun. I'll hold it down. But yeah, dude, like, I mean, just going on, just kind of extension of what Josh was saying earlier. I mean, you've been a supporter of the stream. Like, you're one of the OGs that came on this stream.
Yeah.
And it's just been wonderful to see the transformation, right? Like you said, on the market side, things have kind of been choppy. They've been doing their thing, but on the business side, like things are humming, man. Like you guys continue to push. I mean, real quick, just like run through some stuff, like the main things that the main highlights for you on the business side that has just been kind of like, hey, our price might be doing this, but our business is doing this.
Yeah, we just hit like 197. I think we're almost at 200,000 individual downloads for our performance V4, which is basically 5% of PTU. Like I said, it was just a precursor app to PTU.
Nice.
We now see there's a very, very large market for automated troubleshooting and optimization utilities. And that's exactly what we're pivoting into. We know that if we build an ecosystem based around something with that massive of a niche, right? Performance for gaming is already massive. Troubleshooting for computer issues and streamers is already an issue. PC builds, just basically anything tech related. That's the number one search thing on YouTube for guides and whatnot. So we're super close to releasing PTU, and we know that's just basically going to level up our ecosystem, not only as a business, but also having a native token that's directly going to benefit from it. So we've been super busy with the development of that. We have more website changes coming up. We have more design for the utility coming up. But yes, really just heads down. We try not to be heads down too much because we know what happens when no communication happens.
Yeah.
So we try to share tidbits and stuff when possible. But for the most part, we're just busy. Some projects are doing their thing. Some projects are really stuck in that limbo of whether to migrate, whether to do, whether to stay on Believe, whether to go to Pump, whether to go independent. It's a tough decision. We were stuck on it for a while, but we know with our business and what we have and how serious it is, we weighed the options and we made the decision so we can get back to building. That was most important. We don't want to be stuck in that limbo for too long.
So I mean, I guess from a founder's standpoint, is that where you're seeing from the ecosystem, like just everyone is kind of like needing to draw a line in the sand and trying to figure out where they're going.
There's no really half stepping. I feel like we've been in that limbo sentiment for a hot second. A lot of projects were thinking about migrating, I would say months ago. Even I would say like 2 months ago was on the table about migrating. I remember when Heaven launched, a lot of projects were looking at migrating to Heaven due to belief sentiment. So now I feel like the second wave, you rarely ever get a third chance. And a lot of founders know that. So I feel like this is the make or break situation. You either stay and, I mean, like Josh and Dom said, belief is built on trust, and really nothing's been delivered or shipped for people to trust. So I'm not entirely confident that traders would come back to the Believe ecosystem, even if Donald Trump partnered with them. Like, I feel like it'd be a temporary pump. The main coin is down so long that the next pump it has, all those people that still max bid the bottom, and that's just exit liquidity. That sell pressure is going to be insane. I don't know how the ecosystem recovers from that. And I mean, when the flywheel dropped, we had Thread Guy stream. He said in front of thousands of people, yeah, I'm not interested in that I'm not interested in that project. I'm not interested in that ecosystem whatsoever. So it's like when you have notable figures like that who have followings that kind of blindly follow them for anything, that's bad news for your project. For a notable person to say, yeah, I wouldn't touch anything in that ecosystem, referring to Believe. Now you've probably just been sectioned off by 10, 15% of traders.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, I guess my thing last week, we talked about this, where, as a launch pad, you're dependent on the capital, on CT's money. You're dependent on CT's capital. Like we understand that you don't want to, pander to the timeline and whatnot. And there's a balanced way that you can do it without just like, quote unquote satisfying degens. But at the end of the day, like you need to communicate in some way, because you need their capital, you need their attention, and you need their kind of like guerrilla marketing, boots on the ground type of marketing. You need that from them, so you have to communicate.
It's super essential. And I feel like, I mean, a ton of founders share the same sentiment. We're all in a group chat and stuff. Our price has been suppressed by being on Believe. I don't think that our market cap reflects the quality of project we are. I don't think that the trading volume that we have reflects the type of project we are. And when multiple users all say like, oh, your project's sick, but I'm not really bidding anything in the Believe eco, because that if the launch coin or if BitPatrick is silent and the main coin goes down drastically, for some reason it's directly tied to everything else in the eco. So yeah, I think it was time to make the decision, make the switch. And just keep shipping. I'm super excited for what we're going to accomplish at Pump. Alon super supportive, Rain super supportive, but yeah, I just feel like it's a new page.
Love that for you guys, man. I love that for you guys. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys do here in the future. We've covered so many projects earlier on in Believe. You guys being one of the early projects that we've covered, and we've oftentimes mentioned, literally every time we mention Paragon, we view you guys as being kind of the standard in terms of comms, in terms of just updates. Like you're running a real business that's generated real revenue for a long time. You've now tokenized, you've integrated the token wonderfully into the website. It even has, utility, like real world utility on the platform through rewards and things of that nature. And then you're also just, playing the CT game so well. Like you're communicating, you're building hype, you're just keeping your community abreast of everything that's going on. Yeah. So I think as you guys transition to Pump, man, I really think that change and that visibility, that's going to be really, really clutch.
Yeah, I'm super excited. There's already a ton of people in my DMs, ICM badges, Padre badges. They're like, yo, I'm not going to bid you on Believe, but the moment you migrate to Pump, best believe, we're dropping our thesis on you. So it's like refreshing to see that, like, oh, people are actually noticing the hard work and the quality of your project, but to know that, oh yeah, it's not what I'm doing is reflecting the market cap, is actually the umbrella I'm under. So I'm super excited for these next couple of weeks and for the migration to be over, so we can really show everybody what we can accomplish, and kind of like the real life use case that we have, not only on tech people, gamers. We're branching into AI, GPU computing and rendering and stuff. Talking to a local shops and businesses here in New York. But yeah, I'm just super excited.
Nice. And I guess one last question I have before we wrap this is, when can we expect the migration to be complete? I don't know if you can speak to that yet, or
I can't speak to that yet, but it should be within the month.
Man, November is going to be huge for ICM.
Yeah.
You might see a refurbished chill thesis on that as well.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Yeah, just covering the growth and everything that's happened since the first time. And like, I don't know why. I hope we get to this point where it doesn't matter which launch pad you launch on or where you launch. You get the recognition that you deserve. I feel like projects like yours, with just insanely solid fundamentals to stand on, I think they should get recognition no matter where they are. But as it stands, we're in the world where we are. So looking forward to the migration. And Gavin, always a pleasure, man, to have you. And feel free to let us know when you actually do migrate, if you want to.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you guys will be you guys will be the first to know, 1000%, along with my whales.
Got you. Sounds good. Well, keep doing you, Gavin. We appreciate
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, Joe.
All right, no problem. Talk soon.
Take care.
Guys, what a show so far. We've talked about quite a bit. I'm actually just going to do Trader Radio. Just in case you guys don't know what that is, Trader Radio is just a new kind of segment that we're actually going to experiment with a little bit over these coming weeks. As markets get hot, there's going to be more trades to be talked about. So we'll definitely experiment a little bit more with Trader Radio. But we didn't really get a chance to talk like a lot about just markets in general, where we are. I'm sure you guys see markets are nuking. But love that interview with that we had with Gavin. I think a migration to Pump Fund is actually going to do them really, really well. Real quick, now that we have them, I don't like pulling up charts like with founders while they're here. I don't know. I just so now that Gavin's gone, I'm going to actually pull up the Paragon chart. I want to chart that live with you guys real quick. And let me see here. I'm on Moby Screener. I don't believe they have the right one though. Or I don't think I selected the right one. Let me see. That's Pump. You don't need a Pump Fund. I believe this should be the right one. No. Let me see. PRGN. Let's see if this is the right one. No. Well, let me do this. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up this way real quick, just so that way, again, I want to see the pump, or rather the Paragon token. So let's just pull it up here. I don't think I can find the chart elsewhere just yet, but here we are, Paragon token. Again, like he's saying that, basically when migration happens, it's going to be the same, right? Like, they're like, it's going to be a 1-to-1. So it should be same market cap, etc. Just taking into consideration their history on Believe and the price action that we've seen, we're pretty much at the low side, at the low end of this chart. So, we've kind of built up this massive range. And honestly, the fact that they haven't really sustained above 1 million very long is really surprising to me, because it's like, man, I mean, they have such a wonderful project, great fundamentals, and it hasn't breached 1 million yet. They're like generating revenue. There's a ton of projects that we've seen that we've brought onto this show that are even pre-revenue and has sustained, price action much higher. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how things work out with them. We'll actually be covering that. I'll be watching that closely as well. There's probably a trade to be had. I've been very vocal on the timeline. You guys have, if you guys actually follow my content, I've talked about, November just being this massive month for ICM. There's a ton of launches around the corner. There's a lot of things happening. Pump Fund is pivoting to ICM, Spotlight, their initiative there, ICM.run referring projects. Like, there's a lot that they'll be doing on Pump. There's a lot that'll be happening for ICM in November. So definitely something to keep in mind. I actually just saw a tweet that I wanted to share with you guys from one of the quants, one of the homies, Income Sharks. He says, hear me out. Instead of the 5th weekend pump in a row that retraces, we try actually dumping crypto. So November starts off red, then goes up all month. It worked well last year. We already tried starting October off green, and that didn't work. And that's actually kind of playing out. So this is how last November started off, bloody. I'll be mentally prepared for a scenario like this and prepare for a scenario if it gets worse. Best way to position is to be in cash. Only takes 30 seconds to jump back in. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that sort of idea of how to play this market. Because a few weeks ago, we had Jones Rida on from Left Curve, and he's basically saying the same thing. Like, hey, look, I'm in cash. I'm not trying to hit no home runs right now. I'm not trying to do too much or get too fancy. The market is just not there. And you know what was a really good telltale sign of where we are in this market is, I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but it's these South Park token, right? South Park launched a token, or not South Park launched a token. South Park mentioned a token, and a token was then launched, right, to kind of capture and tokenize that moment. And real quick, just in case you guys didn't see it, I'll actually show you the episode, because I feel like it's very like that was a pretty huge step in terms of where we are in adoption and how much crypto is known. So let's let me show you this video here. Dang it, you guys can't hear it. I wish you could. It was actually that was actually the funniest part. All right, but anywho, like that's really what happened. South Park, they basically that in that part of the video, he's like, pre-sale popped, the liquidity, he was like the pre-sale popped, the liquidity, wasn't even locked yet, is what he said. I'm like, how does like South Park know about locked liquidity? Let me see if I can actually pull. Let me see if I can actually do this real quick. I'm gonna try sharing it one more time, and let me see. Boom. Let me try resharing it one more time. All right, let's see. Let's try this one last time.
Cousin, I'm big! All right, looks like we've got a lot of movement on your coin, boys. The pre-sale really popped. We cleared 100 grand in volume before liquidity even locked. The tokens really got traction. And we don't ever have to pay anything, right? Nope, you never pay anything. You guys created the coin, so all you do is profit from it. See, I told you. That's what the answer, D. Now we just need to keep creating hype around the South Park Sucks Now digital coin. So we need to come up with things to give people FOMO and make them ape even harder. You guys, this isn't about a coin. It's about a movement. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, that's perfect. This isn't about a coin, it's about a movement. Yeah, that's some savvy jujitsu right there.
So what kind of time frame are we looking at to get our money? I need it as fast as possible.
Well, I think we're looking at a classic rug pull in just a few days. Once we pump the coin high as it'll go, then I can register for an MSB with the federal government. The federal government? That sounds hard. Oh, no, it's gonna be easy. The crypto corruption at the White House is off the chain. We're gonna screw a lot of people out of their money, boys. It's gonna be fantastic.
Dude, like the fact they know about like locked liquidity, what's happening at the White House, like that's absolutely crazy. But so huge moment for crypto, right? Huge moment. Like that was like the most, attention we've gotten. And this is the coin that was made, SPSN. That was the ticker that was actually flashed on the South Park episode, right? So that happened on Friday, and your boy got in actually at a mil, wrote it up to like 5 mil. I was like just so happened to be online at the time. So nice little win. But I expected this would go a lot higher. I mean, think back to stuff like Peanut, right, from last year. The squirrel that like died or was killed by police or animal services or something like that. And Elon tweeted about it, which kind of made it a little bit a lot bigger. But I mean, we've seen like, these real world events that have like a ton of attention around them, such as a South Park episode. Like when they mentioned prediction markets the last time on South Park, that like created a whole South Park meta. I mean, a whole prediction markets meta. So to see that this token only went to like 5-6 mil market cap after being mentioned by like one of like the most insane shows is actually pretty telling about where the trenches are. The volume isn't there, the liquidity isn't there. If like this is literally an obvious PVE runner, like anybody could see that, but to see it just kind of fall flat on its face like that, it's just, again, really telling about where we are with these markets. And unfortunately, we have to look at stuff like Bitcoin, just absolutely tanking today. Let me also get off that. Bang. Yeah, we got Bitcoin tanking today. So yeah, I mean, not much to report. I think my strategy is still the same. I might even tweak it a little bit. I have been going like pretty risk off. And I'm gonna just kind of continue to be a little bit more heavier, like in well, not cash, but I'll just kind of go into Solana a little bit more. So yeah, we'll see how we'll see how markets play out for us here over the next coming days and weeks. But I still think the thing to watch out for is going to be ICM new launches. There's still a ton of those ahead of us. There's still a ton of opportunity there. And we'll see if market conditions allow it to just kind of pump straight out of the gate, or is this kind of like round two where we kind of buy these lows kind of, and the lows kind of take a few months and then pop, right? So we'll see exactly how things play out. But so far, I mean, pretty much every time we've gotten below this 107K level on Bitcoin, we've bounced. So no need to think that we aren't going to bounce again, right? We've bounced here, we bounced here, we have bounced here, right? And you can even see we've bounced here as well. And so no need to think that we won't bounce here. I mean, just looking at the chart, going off of what we've seen before, pretty sure we're going to reclaim this level and continue higher. And kind of going along with what Income Sharks was saying here, kind of start off November bloody, but then kind of rally into the rest of the month. So I really think this is the time to just continue to be locked in. This cycle, quote unquote, has been such a marathon, right? Like markets heat up and then they slow down. They heat up and then they slow down. Like every time the market makes you think that, hey, this is the time, it fakes out and pulls back, or so I think the better thing here is to not try to predict where the market is going, but again, just kind of reacting to everything that we're seeing. So positioning in such a way that we can benefit from whatever comes our way. But I really think that I still think that November is going to be a good month. I still think that November is going to be a good month. And we're still going to be watching a ton of launches. Okay. By the way, in the comments, in the chat, feel free to drop any tickers you guys want us to take a look at. We'll be happy to chart something up, do some live research, what have you. Donnie Korn, what's up? What's up? Appreciate you tuning in from YouTube. Our YouTube is growing. Our Twitter account is growing. Our TikTok is growing. So a lot happening here. What about some TA on ICM? Let's do it. ICM, I think, is literally positioned the best right now. So let's look at ICM, because I think it's in a really nice spot here. And I'll pull it up on Mobi. Here it is here. And I think I like the 8-hour view, but I think let's go with 4. So I think this is actually one of the levels that Dom had drawn out, because let me draw a box here. I think his box was drawn out right here. So as you can see, we're coming down to a really key level. I think that ICM, I mean, this is the thesis behind ICM, right? It sits at the center of everything ICM related, hence the ticker. I mean, right? So this is coming down to a nice key level. It's at about 11 mil market cap right now. It's looking absolutely primed. I wonder if there's like, no, I can't really draw it like that, but we can even say there's this kind of range developing on ICM, right? Charting this live for you guys. Hopefully you're enjoying that. Boom. So, and let me real quick fix let me fix my my stuff real quick. I'm gonna just do this real fast because like the red and the red and green candles, they kind of mess with me a little bit, right? So what I like to do is I like to change the color so it doesn't really like affect my it doesn't really affect the way I view the chart. The chart is like being viewed the same way. So yeah, let me see here. Boom, got that, and we can do that and that. Boom, perfect. All right, cool. Got my, and then the last thing is the canvas. I like a solid background, all black with no lines. Perfect. So as you can see here on ICM, looking absolutely solid. They just announced Elon as a mentor, so he'll actually have visibility on some of the projects that are being launched. And knowing that Elon is a mentor in ICM.run, I actually posted an article the other day, and let me actually talk to you guys about this now, because over the weekend, Pump Fund, they actually did this article here. Welcome to Spotlight, a new era for internet capital markets. And basically TLDR in this article, they just talked about their initiative to reshape ICM, or not reshape, but just kind of bring in new founders, bring in fresh, kind of a fresh take on the entire sector. But they want to provide like more resources for founders. They want to provide just more things in general that will help them to onboard these Web 2 founders in a way that doesn't like involve, putting their faces to the floor for months, grinding it out, getting ridiculed by the community, things of that nature. What they want to do is get in front of a lot of that stuff and provide these founders with exactly the tools, resources, and information that they need in order to be successful. So that's TLDR on the article. So I actually wrote this piece over the weekend, and I said, look, here are my two key takeaways from this article. Number one, they want to onboard Web 2 founders. So where will this pipeline come from? Well, think back to ICM.run's article just a few weeks ago that talked about their flywheel. And I'm going to pull this up just real quick so we can all get a sense of exactly where I'm coming from with this. But they wrote an article right here that talked about the ICM flywheel that they have. And they mentioned that in this, mentioned some quick math, right? They said on average, they have 55 applicants per week. And so ICM.run will look to basically refer some of these applicants to launch pads, and basically that's the part of the flywheel. They'll use the referral fees generated, and they'll distribute that to stakers of the ICM token, right? So that's something to be aware of there. But they get 55 applications per week, right? And we've heard numbers from Mercy when we've had him on. They had hundreds of applications when ICM.run was first started. I can only imagine how many applications they have in now if they're doing 50 calls per week. Because it's been months. It's been a while since ICM.run has launched. So keep that in mind. 55 applications per week, and they're looking to funnel some of these applicants to other launch pads, right, to get those referral fees to redistribute to stakers. So where will this pipeline of Web 2 founders come from? Maybe from ICM, right? We just talked about it. They want to refer founders to launch pads. And so what better source to get, a chunk of those Web 2 founders than from ICM? You're a mentor in the DAO. You know the caliber of projects that are being brought to ICM.run. So you know what you can launch on your platform, right? So I think that's something that's really powerful. And obviously ICM.run referring applicants to Pump Fund, that's going to benefit both parties. So that's something to keep in mind there. Second, the second takeaway is that they're working hands-on with current and existing projects. And I actually highlighted where they said some of this stuff. And this is the part where they mentioned working hands-on with current and existing projects. In the article, it says, however, our goal is to grow the pie. And a crucial piece of that is bringing non-native, high potential teams from 0 to 1 when it comes to their understanding of token launching. Pump Fund will be deploying significant resources to onboard good builders that are genuinely hungry to make the token succeed. So again, their incentive is to bring these Web 2 founders into our first takeaway point. Going on to our second takeaway point, he said that over the past weeks and months, we have begun to offer hands-on go-to-market and communications advice to existing and this part, upcoming projects on the platform. So that's something to keep in mind with Pump Fund, right? They have the incentive, they have the plan, and they have the resources to bring new projects onto their ecosystem. So I think the high R&R activity to do over these next days and weeks, especially here in November, is to stock the launch pads, man. Stock the launch pads. I use Padre as my launch pad. You guys know that me and Dom, we had this thing where Dom is using Axiom, I'm using Padre, and he's like, bro, you got to get on Axiom. And I'm like, dude, I love Padre. I love the platform. I love their mobile PWA. The UI is great, and I tend to trade a lot on the go because my IRL life is pretty busy. So I love Padre. Link in bio. Check the link in bio for my ref. Shameless shill. But back to the second takeaway point here. Launches are coming, man. New trading opportunities will be here. Elon is basically bringing ICM projects, helping founders navigate CT, right? Help them to play that CT game. That's where the friction is right now. We've seen that just when we talked to Gavin from Paragon. We've seen that over these last couple of weeks with comms from Believe and the team. So we know that playing the CT game is crucial. You don't have to, be a degen with it, but you have to have a balanced approach. And then he's going to potentially even highlight some of these projects on Spotlight, right? Spotlight is this sort of platform that will help them to push ICM forward. So, and just real quick, just look at the impressions on this article. Nearly 1 million impressions on this article, right? Nearly 1 million impressions. People want ICM. The market is starving for something to buy. They just don't have the confidence because, whether it's Believe or whether it's someone else hasn't done it right. We've seen the last 2 launches on Believe fall flat on their face. It doesn't instill confidence for ICM, but the appetite is there. Someone just needs to do it, quote unquote, right? So that's something to be aware of. but that's pretty much the two takeaways from this recent article from Pump Fund, just kind of highlighting their pivot to ICM. They've been known as a meme coin launchpad, and I think now they want to be they want to step into a new era. From what it sounds like, memes will always be there. Memes will never die. You would never, as much as I love utility tokens, as much as I love serious projects building in crypto, I also don't mind a little bit of meme coin action here and there. Like, that's why I traded the South Park token on Friday when it first came out. And so, there's always opportunity everywhere. No need to get like too fancy about it. No need to get to, memes are stupid. Like, no, it's a good trade, right? I just buy good coins. That's it. Shout out Solomon. But I just buy good tokens. They could be a meme, they could be those tokens could be like a utility project, but everything has some sort of fundamentals that could potentially be good. And right now, I'm loving the way that ICM tokens are looking, but there's opportunity everywhere. So that's kind of my thoughts here on just kind of where ICM is sitting, where everything is. I'm stocking launch pads, right? I don't think HeavenDex has anything coming from what I heard. I'm really just on Believe, and I'm stocking the Pump Fund launchpad as well. I'm really just on those two. And because memes tend to launch a lot on Pump Fund, it's really easy to kind of distinguish a utility project from a just a meme coin. And what I like to look for is like projects that you can that have verifiable metrics and fundamentals, right? Docs founders with a background, with prior knowledge. And real quick, I guess I can share this with you guys. Or maybe not, or maybe not. Actually, let me go to Pump Fund's website real quick, and maybe I can just do it straight from Pump Fund. What I want to do real quick is just kind of show you guys exactly how I kind of do research, do DD on some of these launches. Wow, new pump screener. Oh, interesting. All right. So I actually haven't like traded on like the Pump Fund website at all. So I usually use it. I usually do it through my terminal. But they should have advanced. Here we go. This is the section that I'm looking for. Next. Yep. Cool. So here's the Pump Fund website. And basically you have newly created, about to graduate, and graduated, right? So I actually don't mind. Not using newly created. That's a lot of noise. I like graduated, and then I also like about to graduate. When I on Padre, you can filter about to graduate by the progress that they've made on bonding. So the closer they are to bonding, they'll be toward the top of the list, and the farther they are away from bonding, they'll be at the bottom. I think the setup is something similar here on the Pump Fund website. But essentially, stocking launch pads just involves looking at just kind of like I have an alert on the Padre terminal. Anytime there's a project that migrates on Pump Fund or on Believe, I get notified. So there's like a ping, and it pings me. So I literally am just like stalking, like while I'm online, doing the stream, just in meetings or whatever the heck I might be doing, writing content, writing threads, thesis on stuff, doing research. I just like keep that ping up. So anything that launches, like I literally want to be aware of it, right? So because there could be a trade around the corner at any point. But real quick, let's look at the graduated section. Obviously, you can tell what's a meme, right? Motion, polymotion, probably a meme. Meme. Like a lot of these are probably memes, and you can tell. You can kind of tell which is which, right? So far we haven't really seen any utility. But as you can see, you can tell like what's a meme and what isn't. So when ICM is in full swing, when they're getting referred projects by someone like an ICM.run, for example, you'll be able to tell when these projects launch, because literally all it takes is hitting this button here, and Padre has like all these buttons that you can hit in the trenches section. So you can see their Twitter, there's a search button for their Twitter, there's linked Telegram groups, Discord, like all that stuff is linked. So when I say stock launch pads in November, this is what I mean, right? And I wonder if I can actually go on Twitter real quick and look up the Padre trenches section, because I really want you guys to see. This is essentially what it looks like right here. And I'll just do this. So this is what it looks like right here, right? So on this right-hand side, you have migrated, you have soon, and you have newly created, right? Very similar to the Pump Fund website. And on the right-hand side, you have links here, you have links to socials, you have links to their website, you have links to pretty much anything that's related. So you can do very, very quick DD. And if you can look for like a LinkedIn profile, if you can look for anything that's like hardcore tying the project to a real founder with good intentions and all that good stuff, this will be the place where you can find it, and it can be easily done. It can be easily separated. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So yeah, link in bio if you guys want to trade on Padre. Outside of that, what other tickers do we want to see? We talked about ICM. Let me see. Let's cover the Lumen chart. We just had Lumen on today. I want to see how their chart is doing. Let me see here. I believe this is it. All right, Lumen's chart is actually looking very, very, very healthy. Very healthy. Let me look on the 4-hour. Yeah. All right, let's chart this one up live. Let me see the level, the new all-time high. Let's chart this one up live. So what I like about Lumen is they are comparable to CLED in terms of like you can make a quick comparison and like you can instantly understand what they are. But they offer something completely different than CLED. It's not CLED beta, right? Like this is its own project. And so as we can see here, looking very nice. I mean, you can even look at it this way if you want to draw trend lines here and even here. Kind of like here and here. So even if you want to, it's kind of been in this down channel. We can take the box away for a second. You can see it clearly. It's been in this kind of downward channel for a little bit. But he said they have, they have some partnerships in the works, things of that nature. So Lumen definitely one to keep eyes on. Definitely one to keep eyes on. Rain Hake, what's wrong about crypto tonight? Well, what's wrong? I heard CZ put out a tweet. I heard Binance is also tanking because of some tweet that CZ put out. Let me see here. What exactly did he say? It was just it's just a tweet saying that they're not affiliated with some token in the BNB eco. Okay. But yeah, what's happening overall with crypto in general is, same thing that has been happening, right? Like low volume, um, and I'll share the Bitcoin chart. It's low volume. It seemed like, at some point there was some sort of entity selling because everything else was pumping, right? Like equities, precious metals, like things were going up. And unfortunately, Bitcoin wasn't. So it seemed like someone was kind of forcing the market down a little bit. I believe there was something that came out about MEXC. I don't know if you guys heard about that. And you guys let me know in the comments if you heard about MEXC. But apparently it was rumored anyway that that MEXC was insolvent and they were kind of liquidating. But I believe it just turned into some FUD. So I'm not really sure if that was actually true. But as you can see here, the outflows are real, right? 900 million in outflows from MEXC. So yeah, the outflows continue to be a real thing, real thing for MEXC. And this is obviously a troll tweet here. Donald Trump tweeted about MEXC. But yeah, you see here it is. The rumors were spreading, and it kind of felt like 2022 when there was this insolvency craze after FTX. Nobody knew how much contagion there was. If one person going down meant that others were going down with it. So it felt like that because on 10/10 when we experienced a flash crash, people were like, well, we haven't seen any bodies come up yet. And when you see one body start to, or it's rumored that a body is starting to float to the surface, it's like, okay, well, who else was affected, right? So I think that's this is unconfirmed. I'm not 100% certain if this is real or how accurate this is, I should say. But we are seeing massive withdrawals from the MEXC exchange. So it's real enough to make people take action anyway on and move their funds. In other news, let me see here. What else do we need to go through today? What else do we need to go through? Let me see. I'm going to go back to the timeline. Let's see what's happening on the timeline. ZEC continues to go absolutely nuts. ZEC is going crazy. They're saying that OG Bitcoin whales are bidding up ZEC. So I guess the price isn't going to stop. Let me see. Andrew, I saw the rumors around MEXC. But it seems people were flooding to create pressure against them. Wow. Yeah, I mean, look, when FUD starts, it's really hard. It just kind of tends to snowball effect. It tends to snowball effect into some real concerns. But like I said, not confirmed, mostly rumors. Oh look, Prophet. He just talked about. He just issued an article on about MetaDAO. Let's see. Despite overall market conditions, MetaDAO is above and beyond, leading as the example of what ICM should look like. So he's saying, what's next? 23 million in the treasury value secured, 33 million in launch project market capitalization. Monthly update. Look, if Believe can take, and I know I don't want to harp on Believe too much. We talked about them a lot here, but they're doing, like, MetaDAO is doing monthly updates. This is an easy fix for Believe. This whole comms issue is an easy fix, bro. You can even do weekly updates, monthly updates. It's all about a content schedule and making sure you're feeding your community the sauce. Obviously, Meta Profit is doing that in real time here. So monthly update. They talked about some recent launches like Avicii, like Umbra, and they raised 10 million from VCs like Six Man Ventures, Paradigm, and others. They hired general counsel. This is a really good move. Obviously, there's legal framework that needs to be put in place from a legislative standpoint from the U.S. government side, and we're still waiting on a lot of that, like the market structure bill. So it's good to have legal counsel to kind of guide decisions, especially as MetaDAO grows. So let's see, they fixed some infrastructure. Here's what's top of mind for next month. Permissionless is my number one priority. Legal has been the blocker here and is nearing the finish line. So good. They got legal counsel now, so they'll be able to roll things out in a more permissionless way. We've gotten a lot of feedback on the launch mechanism short term. I think we improved by adding fees on commits, which should reduce the incentive to over allocate. Wow, I think we improve it by adding fees on commits. Long term, I think we need something that enables founders to give allocation to the highest quality holders. Interesting. So I wonder if the holder score that Believe is coming out with, I wonder if that's going to be a thing that other launch pads, kind of adopt as well. I think that was a really good idea. I think the holder score was a huge concept that Believe brought out. Would love to see how Believe integrates that more into their ecosystem. But again, I wonder, how other launch pads will pick up on this. And this is the first time I've been hearing anything about the quality of holders from anybody outside of Believe. So very interesting to pick up on that pattern. Increasing some fees. Looks like they'll be listed on some exchanges. Getting some high quality projects to launch is most important. And I mean, look at these launches, man. Huge. Raised millions. And he kind of goes through some of those stats around raises. And looks like my trenches, let's see. We got a new launch, but nothing crazy. Okay. Yeah, so let's keep going here. Let's keep going. Shout out Renaissance, by the way. I listened to his segment on on Thread Guys show. So really awesome. But honestly, guys, this is my main like CT list where look, I like anything that's happening in CT. This is the list that I go to, to just kind of get an overview of what's happening, where you get more of your pledge percent if you've been a quality holder. Yeah, that's Ozaru. That's exactly solid, bro. Like just knowing the quality of holders, I think that's a huge unlock for all launch pads, and it could even be something that could be expanded beyond ICM, right? But definitely something to take note of. Here's a video that I wanted to show you guys because Trump kind of was talking about crypto a few times in his 60-minute segment, his 60 minutes segment, or his episode with 60 minutes, whatever you want to call it. And this is he said something really interesting here. Check it out. There you go. So that's his take. And notice something interesting that he said. China is picking up big. Remember they call it the Kobe prophecy of how this bull run will be kind of led by China, and it'll be a lot of Chinese liquidity that kind of drives the price action. And he even said, you should be hanging out in WeChat rather than being on CT. So I just find that interesting confluence with that. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? Oh my God, dude. There's no way. There's no way he said, I don't know who CZ is. What's up, Josh? I can't hear you.
Sorry, you're not sharing volume, bud.
Oh, gotcha. I thought I was.
Try resharing again.
Yeah. Let me see here. All right, let's see if you guys can hear it this time.
He pled guilty in 2023 to violating anti-money laundering laws.
Right.
The government at the time said that CZ had caused significant harm to U.S. national security, essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is.
He pled guilty in 2023 to violate.
Literally says he doesn't know who CT is. What are we doing here? But yeah, overall, guys, like pretty slow Monday. Probably a good Monday to just kind of touch grass. We pretty much caught up on anything that we would need to be caught up on. So I'd say just take a breather for the rest of the day. One of the homies, Mercury, he says something I've always found ironic when people use Bitcoin investor whales to help guide their trading bias on the market. The reason these entities invest instead of trade is because they make for poor traders. Then traders use them as signal. Makes zero sense. Yeah. So again, a lot of noise that can be in the a lot of noise that can be in the market. Yeah, Spill, let's do it. Belief talk. All right, let's yeah, Andrew, he pardoned somebody he didn't even know. Let's look at Stig. And this is going to be like live kind of reaction from me because I haven't really read through this article. I bookmarked it and I meant to read it a little bit before, but the boy's just been busy. I kind of read the first part of this. Let's see. Today, ICM has become synonymous with tech startups. The truth is, ICM for tech projects is fundamentally flawed. Interesting. ICM for tech projects is fundamentally flawed. Interesting take. Traditional tech already has a mature capital stack from angels and accelerators to top tier venture firms. It is an ecosystem built to fund high risk, high growth companies with time, expertise, and trust. Tokens, by contrast, often create short-term noise and long-term distraction. Okay, so I guess if this is the problem, like why come to crypto? Like if you're saying, hey, look, like you came out with a coin that is RIP VC, right? Like that was the coin RIP VC. And so if you came out with that, but now you're saying, oh no, these projects, they already have, access to VCs and good capital. There's no need for them to come into this space because of this short-term noise. I think just an interesting take, something I'm gonna flag that. I'm gonna just take a note of that. But continuing on. ICM was meant to democratize capital formation. Instead, in its current form, it has mostly amplified speculation and volatility. It rewards marketing over mission and momentum over meaning. Okay. I think it's very limited to say it's meant it's meant for only capital formation. But okay, again, just something else I'll flag, and we'll come back to this. Represents something bigger. It's for creators, influencers, educators. When viewed through that lens, ICM is one of the most powerful ideas of our time. It's not just a fundraising mechanism. It is a financial operating system of the internet. It connects creation, capital, and community in a single loop. This is the real potential of ICM, to unlock ownership for the next wave of entrepreneurs, not just those who write code. Believe's definition of ICM, which I feel like is really important for them to establish. We believe ICM should focus on what drives people, not just what they build. The future belongs to creators who rally around their ideas, whether that is a community, an art project, a podcast. Okay, so CCM, this is kind of like leaning to CCM. ICM for creators is different from ICM for tech startups. It is more human. It is built on relationships, shared conviction, and collective upside. It does not replace venture capital. It replaces the old gatekeepers for everyone outside of it. Our mission is to build a foundation for this new version of ICM, one that empowers millions of creators and small businesses to raise belief, build communities, and grow on chain. That is why our platform is not just a launchpad for tokens. It is a social product designed around human connection and belief. So I see that they're leaning more towards like creator capital markets. Like that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, you guys let me know if that makes sense to you, but that's kind of what I'm hearing here. Believe is building the birthplace of the next generation of creators, founders, cultural icons, not just the next great companies, but the next great movements. It sounds more memes, bro. It sounds like more meme. Like, remember what the South Park video that we just watched? And they said, yeah, let's create a meme token, but let's hype it up, create more FOMO. And the dude from South Park says, it's not just a token, it's a movement. And he's like, yeah, that's some real jujitsu. Like, that's what this reminds me of. That's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, it's not, it is to create the next great companies. To me, that's what ICM is. And like, I'm going to go with what they're saying. They said CT created the vision around ICM and internet capital markets. And so the vision for what ICM is crypto native. And so if we believe in it, if we believe ICM is one thing, but you believe ICM is different, now that there's a divergence there, right? Like there's some separation. So either we bridge that gap, or CT goes in its own direction and Believe goes in its own direction. But let's continue on. So they said this. Our vision is simple: a world where capital formation is as easy as starting a group chat, where creators can raise belief, not just money. I don't know about that part. I don't know about the raise belief part. Where the internet's next generation of businesses and movements grow on chain, powered by communities instead of institutions. We're building the first truly viral crypto-powered app designed for people, not traders. Dude, traders are the lifeblood of any launch pad. If you want, bro, there needs cash flow behind it. Otherwise, it's a meme coin. Thank you, Spill. Thank you, Spill. That's that's my, again, guys, I haven't read this article. This is my legit just initial reaction. So, we're going to come up with key takeaways at the end of this article, but I'm just kind of like reading through it with you guys and just kind of getting a sense of what the heck they're doing. And we're almost at the end here. At the end of the day, ICM was never meant to be about coins. It was meant to be about conviction, community, and creation. A note on leadership and direction. I've had the pleasure of working alongside Ben, so he kind of defends Ben here. It's going to take someone who comes from outside the traditional crypto world to bring new people into the industry in a way that feels seamless and natural. I don't think that's true. I do not think that's true. We'll talk about Pump Fund on that side of things. In its current form, crypto and many of its founders are not equipped to in my opinion. Oh yeah, they're okay. So in its current form, crypto and many of its founders are not equipped to do that. That being bringing in traditional, people from traditional industries, TradFi into, or from Web 2 into Web 3. I'll admit there has been a lack of communication, and I'm personally committed to helping bridge that gap moving forward. It shouldn't be your job though, Stig. It should be Ben's job. Again, just initial reaction. I'll do my best to make sure that our investors and supporters have a clear understanding of where we're headed. Again, not your job, that's Ben's. Believe is going through iterations. Many of the most successful projects in the world started as something very different from what they became. We are no exception. The goal has been and still is to bring the next generation of truly talented people on chain and give them a place to build, connect, and grow. Okay, I truly believe he believes in Ben. It will take time. But they're in it for the long haul. You either believe in us or you don't, and I'm excited to show everyone why they should. Okay, and we went through some of these comments earlier. Yeah. This conversation, this conversation with Rambo is really interesting here. Can you guys just be clear for once? We are building a social app for normies, not a platform for crypto natives. Pivoting is fine, but not transparent. But not being transparent with your supporters is destroying your reputation. In the process of being more transparent, and this article is the first step. Being transparent takes nothing but a tweet. There shouldn't be a whole process that's needed. So literally just send out some tweets every week, man. That's it. From Ben, by the way, not from, the team, but from the founder himself, speaking on his vision, right? Too little, too late, sold us on a completely different vision, told us to believe, then pivoted without transparency. To this moment, we still don't have it. To be completely honest, this is where he said, this was a vision crafted by CT. Could be wrong, but Believe never came out and said we are a launch pad for startups on chain. I guess this is where, when the meme coin, you guys might remember the meme coin startup in the Believe ecosystem. I think him, Hajira, whatever his name is, I think his name is him. He was kind of pushing that, and the whole thing was, the narrative was, hey, like Believe is the place for startups, right? Like Believe is the place where startups launch. This startup, this meme coin, has no execution risk. It has no team risk. So, it's just, to me, it's just interesting that I'll say this. Takeaways from the article here written by Stig. First takeaway: generational fumble spill. Maybe. I think that still remains to be seen. But here's my full takeaway. Number one, you communicated a vision that was completely different. It sounds more like you're pivoting towards like creator capital markets. It sounds like you're still kind of moving in the direction of like meme coins. Like, I understand that you say that you're building with conviction and belief and community, but that's no different than a meme coin. That's no different than a meme coin. Maybe your holder score will kind of help you to curate holders and create better holding communities. But every launch pad could work on that. Like, every launch pad could literally integrate a belief score system or a holder score system, right? Like, that's not something that's going to be a moat for a very long time. That's number one. Number one is, it sounds like you're still moving in the direction of memes creators versus actually like people, like founders who want to like, create a startup, right? And if there are startups that had access to infinite capital, like people are claiming, like they are claiming in this article, then how come ICM created such a frenzy? How come ICM attracted so much attention? If it were true, startups, they can have access to, really good capital. Why is it that CT created this narrative that rip VC? We don't want VC funding. We want to come straight to the market. And founders got behind that. Founders like, Bobby launched, Dupe, Viva launched, like, that narrative that was created by CT, it attracted folks. It attracted folks, and it made Believe become what it became in terms of like how much mind share that it had, right? So yeah, I don't know. That part to me is kind of a tougher one to swallow there. Um, you know, ICM extends beyond tech startups. I don't think so. Um, I don't think so. And then they also mentioned something about they want to create an ecosystem for holders and not traders. Like you need like Believe, the whole revenue behind Believe comes from trading fees, right? So you need launches, you need traders, you need ecosystem participants, you need people that can launch something good that can attract capital. What will do that is ICM tech startups, like ICM projects that, like a Paragon, for example. We just talked to Gavin earlier in the stream, like a Paragon, where he has a already functioning revenue generating business. He looks to, come in, launch a token on CT, integrate it into his business, and make it easier for his business to reach broader audiences. Like he mentioned, people from Bangladesh and India and Australia and all these other places now have access to his business and his services through this token that can be accessed anywhere in the world, right? So I think that is something that is more ICM than, a Belief coin or like a creator capital markets. That really sounds like the pivot. But that's my initial reaction here. Spill, he said, I wouldn't say it's a soft rug. I wouldn't say that. I would say it's a team that has had an ever revolving vision. And I think that vision has now evolved into something that, we kind of don't really like vibe with, because again, it's more like creator coins. But still, I'm going to stock the launch pad for launches. I want to see if like we have like ICM tech startups launching on Believe. That's what I want to see. I'm still going to monitor for that, but it's a launch pad. A launch pad is only as good as the projects that they launch, which makes Pump Funds Pivot that much more interesting, because now you're saying the ICM, isn't that ICM for tech projects is fundamentally flawed. That's what they're saying. It's fundamentally flawed, right? It's like, well, if they had access to this mature capital stack, why did CT and the ICM narrative, why did it attract so much attention in the first place? And I don't think it's for capital formation only. I think it's just a means of building in public, and through different things, whether it's staking, whether it's buybacks, whether it's ownership like MetaDAO is doing, whether it's integration into your platform or into your services. Like no matter what that is, I think that's kind of where the future for ICM lies, is in these startups that are actually like bridging the gap between this is just a token versus this is ownership, right? Like, and MetaDAO and what they're doing over there, like with coins like Avicii and Umbra, like those are true, like those are really nice ICM projects. Like you actually own a stake, right? And those founders would much rather launch in Web3 than in Web2. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little rough that they're not gonna, prioritize traders, um, it sounds like they're a little. I don't know. I don't like. I don't like this direction. I don't like this direction. Andrew, everyone agrees that they are ahead of the ICM game, so they have better visibility of how it works. Not siding with Believe, but something to consider. I don't believe that they're ahead of the ICM game, bro. I think they were. I think they were ahead. They were ahead by like miles and miles and miles. But over these last 6 months, we've covered it here live on these streams. Over the last 6 months, so many players have now popped up. You know, the vision around what ICM is has evolved, right? It's like at first it was RIP VC. ICM is you know, raising capital on chain. That's really what ICM was when it first started. But now it's more of like kind of like it's kind of more like utility focused. Like it's okay, who's building a real company, who's generating real revenue, what founders have a real background in what they're building, right? Like Dupe is a really good example of this. Paragon is a good example of this. Real IRL businesses coming on chain. And that's how the vision has evolved. And people are now building on top of that evolved vision. Soar, launch on Soar. You know, their vision, you know, around structuring the debt structure. That is a good way of inherently giving value to tokens. Street Foundation, their launch is coming up in November. They have their ERCS token standard that they're working with, and there's a ton of like legal involvement in that. You have Segway, which is bridging the gap between, you know, equity and tokens. You now have Pump Fund, most importantly, who's pivoting to ICM. So did they have the lead before? Absolutely. Had they leaned into the community, they could have built out a vision that was absolutely beautiful. But I think right now, I don't think that vision is absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't say that. I would say it's a little less, maybe not even a little, but definitely less than what I imagined that they do. Yeah. They have the most experience. Their moat is gone. Absolutely. Wait, they have the most experience. Their moat is gone. When you say they, you're talking about Believe or you're talking about Pump Fund? Andrew, let me know in the chat. But yeah, I would say like Believe's moat is gone. You know, they had a head start at the beginning, but now all these players are catching up. And now you have the most successful launchpad, or we can even expand that and say one of the most successful businesses in crypto and Pump Fund. Now they're now pivoting to ICM, and they have a war chest. You know, they're hiring people like Rain, you know, to help them push. And they're working with people like you know, ICM.run. They're really building out a really good pipeline, man. They're really building out a good pipeline. And when Pump Fund pivots to something, you know, it tends to work out, especially when you have guys like Alan that would respond to founders' messages in 15 minutes, like what we heard with Paragon, right? So definitely something to take into consideration. But that would be my Believe take here. You know, the vision is not what, you know, everyone has seen. Or what everyone has thought the vision would be. Andrew says the problem for Believe is that they would have approached companies and the feedback from BD would be what they claim. Interesting. You know, I wonder, because how is it that ICM.run is on 50 calls a week? How is it that ICM.run is on 50 calls a week and they're getting an insane interest on the ICM side, the ICM tech startup side, not creator capital markets, not, you know, not creators launching a coin based on belief and conviction and community, Like that's just a meme. It's like you literally just described a meme coin, bro. Like there's no other way I can put it. You can put all the fancy words and labels as you want to put behind it, but it is still a meme coin. The only thing that you're making better based on the platform is just the holders based on your holder score. It's meme coins with better holders. That's really all it is. But if that's the feedback that you're getting from your BD, that, oh man, well, we already have access to capital and stuff like that. Why is it that ICM.run is on 55 calls a week, on the team? Like, again, just questions that I would ask, questions that I would want answers to before I like form a really, really strong opinion. But yeah, that's my take on Believe, man. I'm not gonna harp on them too long. We've been talking about them for what, 20 minutes now. So yeah, let's just I'll just chill on that. Yes, demand from Web 2 is weak, but Web 3 teams are there. I don't know if the demand is particularly weak from Web 2. And even if it is, nothing is going to convince them to come because there hasn't been a successful case study. Right? Think about it. We had Maya from Street on, and he said that he was in a meeting with A16Z because they were interested in this sort of like on-chain startup narrative, this ICM narrative. They were interested in that. They wanted to see what Street was doing because he was trying to connect that and bridge the gap between equity and on-chain tokens. And they were interested in that. And they said, just tell us about what you're working on. So the interest is there, right? Like the narrative holds weight and can potentially be top of mind for large players like A16Z, not AI 16Z, but the real A16Z, right? And so if the demand isn't there from Web 2, we can definitely say the potential is there, but what isn't, there isn't a case study. There isn't a successful move from Web 2 to Web 3. And at this point, Believe has had the most shots on goal at making that happen. You have an ecosystem filled with projects like Viva, who are a multi-billion-dollar company. Projects like Dupe, whose user metrics are insane and off the charts, generating revenue. He's raised ton of money before, ton of capital in his career. Projects like Fitcoin, user metrics go crazy there too, right? So it's like they have had the ability to make this case study a reality and basically showcase to anyone that they're reaching out to that, hey, like give your BD some ammo, to say, hey, look, here's a successful case study. Here's what and go ahead and let's push that out as we try to onboard Web 2 guys. And a lack of that's a it's tough, man. They had the opportunity there. Andrew, ICM offers product adoption and community. Spill says, bro, they had product market fit. They had genuinely good launches. There are founders out there who will come. Absolutely. We know that. Spill. We know that companies will come to tokenize their startup. We know that there are companies that would come here and launch the token. Why? Because they've came already. I just gave you a list of 3 like hugely successful companies, not projects that started and they're pre-revenue and they're still figuring things out. No, like these are successful companies that already have it figured out. And they're like, no, I actually like this token idea. Let me see what this is all about. So there's interest there. And if your BD is struggling with, interest that is there's already Web 2 founder interest. There's already, VC interest with A16Z. The only thing that's lacking is a successful case study. And that is why I will continue to say launches are the only thing that we should be paying attention to. Launches are the only thing that we should be paying attention to. Maybe there are definitely projects that have already launched that are good. We've few stuff like CLED, stuff like that. But other than that, like, dude, like we we need good case studies. We need evidence to say, hey, look, more people should be doing this. And I think that's really what Pump Fund unlocks. And the other thing that I don't agree with here with Stig, he says that he talks about Web. Let me see. Let me try to find it real quick. Web 2. He basically said that the people that would be the best, the most positioned to bring Web 2 into Web 3 is someone that is in Web 3 but not from Web 3, right? Like, you need a non-native crypto person to bring these Web 2 guys in. I don't think that's true, because you've seen a non-native try to bring people in, and that's what we got with Believe. Ben isn't crypto native. He's said that multiple times. He's ran the biggest ICM launchpad ever, and there's been like very huge projects that have launched on his launchpad. But we've seen the communication problems with Ben. We've seen the comms problem. With Paragon just highlighted, like, they're not even tapped in with their own ecosystem. You know what I mean? Versus someone like Elon, who we can see through this Spotlight article that he wrote. Elon is willing to get hands-on, right? Over the past few months, we've begun to offer hands-on go-to-market and communications advice. Ben didn't do that. Believe didn't do that. They tried, they brought on some guys to kind of help them and stuff like that, but they did not provide that like hands-on support, and they did not view that as being important. And I think that's where having experience in Web3, that's really important. You can't expect to help someone launch in Web3 when you haven't done it yourself, right? Elon has a lot of experience, pushing tokens in this ecosystem, building an ecosystem. He knows the unwritten rules. He has the people around him. He has a lot going on over there. You know what I mean? So now it's just a matter of just putting it all together. And I think, Elon is actually, from a bonding curve launchpad standpoint, I think he has a really good shot at creating those case studies that we want to see. So that's it, guys. I think I might wrap on that. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go? Let me see. Let me just write this message. Copy now. So yeah, let me know if there's anything else that you guys want to talk about. Spill says, start small, and as time goes on, more will see the success and do it themselves. Absolutely. And I think that's what we're going to see here with Pump Fund. They'll start small, right? Start with a project here, project there. They build up some good case studies, and yeah, we'll just kind of go from there, man. So let's stock the launch pads. Let's see what's up, because I think there's a lot of really good launches on the way, and it's just a matter of knowing, just kind of seeing where that is. Will those launches be on Believe? I don't know. These last two launches doesn't give me the confidence that I need, but we know Pump Fun is, so
hey, we have SOAR coming on this week, so definitely join us later. I think on and I unpinned it, but I'll repin the schedule right now for you, Jill, because
I got it.
Just trying to do it, make it easy for the people to see the stream link always. Here we go.
All right, boom. Here we go. Stream schedule. So like, this is, I know we say like every week, like, whoa, like big, like huge streams this week, but seriously, like every single week we have like these huge streams that we can put together. Like the schedule is like literally stacked. Shout out Andrew. Literally, yes, bro. The schedule is stacked on a weekly basis, and we love to do that for you guys. So hopefully, you guys are getting some value out of that. Today we had Nemesis on. They're building some cool things over there on base with the decks for ICM. We talked to Lumen today. Really nice project. Love what it's doing. Paragon, we got some updates from them. Shout out to those chads. I'll actually be watching out for the migration. Brandon F4851, do you hold Pump? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Pump is I love, and Josh can speak to the thesis. I don't know, Josh, if you want to take it for a second. We can't hear you.
Yeah, here, Brandon.
Yep.
Let me give you a quick minute on Pump real quick. I'm just gonna pull up my screen. Sorry, why? I'm just trying to pull up the right. Okay, here we go. I mean, this is kind of the one thing I look at. I don't look at the chart. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I don't look at the chart. I do look at the chart, obviously, but this is kind of fundamentally the one thing I look at, which is just the revenues here. So the website is fees.pump.fun. And here you can see all the fees. So 163 mil purchase, the 10% circulating offset. Basically, that's the amount of circulating supply that they have bought and back. And here you can see the trend of the revenue. So actually, revenue growth has been trending up for the last kind of since the major market drawdown on the 10th of October. It's actually been trending up quite nicely. So good to see that. I think that's the metric that really matters. In here, you can kind of see the amount bought and offset every single day, 1.4, 1.4, 1.5. Well, if you go back to just a couple of weeks ago, you're at 800K, 750K. So definitely significant. Obviously, in that time, one of the big fundamental differences was the acquisition of Padre, and they very nicely wrapped those Padre revenues straight into their existing revenue flow. And so I think this, people will compare this to Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid has a really great business. The one thing Pump has going forward is spot trading from a revenue standpoint is much more lucrative. Like all of these trading products are getting like 80, 90, 100 basis point fees. Perps trading isn't quite as fee intense as spot trading is. And the amount of traders that trade spot on Solana on chain is much bigger than the amount of perp traders. So I think there's a number of things they have going for them. Vertically integrating, Padre and all the stack. So if you think about it, bonding curve level of a new launch, fees. Trading on the Pump AMM, fees. Trading on the terminal, Padre terminal, fees. Where in that stack could they also disrupt that is a fee taker? So leverage trading is probably the number one next avenue. And they've alluded, Alon's kind of alluded to some sort of leverage product, maybe. But that's the next one I would look out. Do they do it by acquisition? Which is great. They might. And kind of the pump holders, what you get is the upside of these acquisitions. So you're getting no further dilution on your tokens when they acquire like something like Padre, for instance. But they immediately are turning on the 100% fee share to token holders. So I think there's a number of those kind of things that are working for Pump really, really well. So yeah, I think Pump generally will trade what Solana is trading. If Sol's up, Pump's going to be up. Likely is Sol down, Pump's going to be down. However, I think it's a good kind of built-in leverage mechanism because you have this 100% buyback piece. You've offset a lot of the Pump that people have sold. And remember, they ICO'd around what Pump is trading at today. Actually, under what the ICO was higher than what Pump is trading at today. So not only are you buying a Pump at a discount, Pump's business fundamentally, since their ICO, I believe is stronger because of what you see on screen. And then the third thing is, if you think Solana is going to grow, we see the ETFs, the DATs come out for Solana. If you think on-chain on Solana is going to grow, I think, yeah, you have to have some pump exposure. So Brandon, that's the long-term thesis. I'd be remiss not to mention Meteora, Met token as well here in this segment, because I think Meteora is the other kind of leg to what makes Solana great and gives you a lot of diversity across different components to the on-chain ecosystem. So I would own Pump. I would own some Met in your portfolio if I was to kind of look beyond Sol itself. So Sol is the ecosystem token, but Pump and Met I think are 1 and 2 in terms of what you need to also have in your portfolio if you're bullish on Solana. I'll pause there. Chill, did I nail it?
You nailed it from a
I think you
fundamental.
have chart going here too.
Yeah, you nailed it from a fundamental standpoint. Literally, I can't speak to Pump better than you can. Like, you literally have the thesis fully down. But yeah, ton of fees. And it's all going to buybacks and burn. Ton of supply that has been burned already. And as you can see, like on the Pump chart, like we came up, we went straight down only, right? After the token launched, we went straight up in a straight line, and now we've kind of retraced. And we're back, below this gray area, this gray box that's in the middle of the chart. It's kind of like a line in the sand for this Pump Fund chart. It's acted as support and resistance before, and it's kind of, having a lot of interaction in this area. So even from a TA standpoint, like, this is a really good time to allocate to Pump. Especially anywhere in this green box is a really good place to allocate to Pump. So really nice area here. Basically, we broke out of this downtrend that we've been in, and we can let me zoom in on this. Now we kind of have the high time frame view. If I zoom in here, you'll kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. So we broke out of this downtrend that we've been in since basically, like, for the last several weeks, ever since the 10/10 flash crash day. We've just been kind of consolidating sideways. And there's this huge area of resistance here. At like the 05, at the 5,000 level, let's just call it 005. But yeah, we've been just kind of consolidating sideways. At the bottom of this range is the best place to buy, right? Like, so anywhere around, 3,200 to 4,000, really good area to buy in this green box, maybe even a little above it. Because we have, like, just look at when you turn this on. I really like using the long and short tooling on TradingView to kind of help me even with spot positions, because like our downside is likely here. Like, there's a ton of support right here, and I've had this drawn out and on it's a higher time frame support, and it's proven to be support here. So as you can see, the downside is very limited. So RR is near 10. You have like a 10 RR right here. So for every $10 that you're risking, or for every dollar that you're risking, your potential reward is $10, right? So good R&R here at these levels.
Chill, did you cover the capital markets tweets by chance?
Capital markets tweets?
Yeah.
Question mark. Let's see.
Maybe I'll start looking through some of these. And again, I'm not dark mode. Apologies, people. You're gonna see some light mode stuff. But capital markets is this account set up by Solana. It's more than a narrative, right? So the narrative is that it's ICM, Internet Capital Markets, basically the NASDAQ on chain. That's the narrative. But what Solana did is they rented this space literally right beside the NASDAQ or NYSE. I don't know what building this is, but it's right beside the NASDAQ. or maybe NYSE. So doing this pop-up thing, okay, really, really crazy idea. I saw somewhere that they even have, maybe I'm LARPing a little bit, but they even had a button to show new launches or something, or maybe it was the NASDAQ button, but and maybe it was around the Bitwise thing, but we'll get it. BSOL. So this is the ETF that just launched by Bitwise. Bitwise BSOL ETF set a new high for 2025, reaching 56 million in day one trading volume, beating every ETF launch this year. Oh, they use ChatGPT for this. Huh. That dash only exists in ChatGPT, by the way. The milestone, and I only know that because MCG was using ChatGPT for some of our tweets. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way, guys. This milestone underscores BSOL's strong investor demand, puts Solana at the forefront of crypto trading. Okay, great. Let's see, what else? They Grayscale Solana Trust ETF trading is live now on NYSE Arca. 17,000 SOL futures traded on 28th of October, the highest single day trading volume for SOL futures on CME. BSOL ETF posted a 72 million. So the next day, day two trading, it went from 50 million to 72 million in day two trading. So guys, I mean, we've not had a SOL ETF. We've not had, I don't even see any SEC approval. I think the SEC is just like, as long as it hits these benchmarks, you can just start trading kind of thing. So no big announcement, no big kind of fanfare. Look at these highlights. DeFi, TVL grew 33% quarter over quarter. Stablecoins, 37% quarter over quarter. RWAs grew 42% quarter over quarter. Sol DATs hold 3.9 billion at the end of Q3. Guys, we are seeing a internet company style growth rate on internet capital markets on Solana. This is incredible growth. This is adoption. I mean, I see the markets getting crushed, but then I come here and I'm like, man, we would have died for stuff like this, 2 years ago happening on Solana, and it's happening. 417 million in weekly Solana ETF inflows led by all crypto ETPs. Western Union announced they're building exclusively on Solana with stablecoin USDPT for global transfers across 150 countries. I don't know how much more you need to hear, but I can tell you guys that this is the thing, and that's ironic. But anyways, this is Solana is the thing, guys. It's happening on Solana.
Whoa,
I'm
whoa,
bullish.
whoa, 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 whoa! Click on that. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, yo? Love that. Not hey, look, we've talked about that enough today. I'm gonna leave that alone. I just wanted to take a moment to pause. All right.
Is that capitulation or what?
Hey, he just said he didn't sell.
Okay.
Avi Patel ahead of his time. All right. I'm just trolling here at this point. Okay. All right. I think that's it. I think that's
it.
But guys, let me go through the stream schedule real quick this week. I think that's where I left off before we went on the pump.
Yeah, but I think some people just needed conviction, and I just wanted to deliver a little conviction to you guys that
as we should.
It's fundamental. It's not just charts. It's not just ICM and narrative. It's actual real shit happening. So go follow that capital markets account if you haven't already. That's to me, that's the heartbeat of what's going on in Solana. Solana, you'll get, we launched this new technical update, blah, blah, blah. Capital markets, you're going to get the updates of the real life, how it impacts adoption. And that's what's important.
Yeah. And
tomorrow,
just to kind of close out. What's that? Yeah.
Tomorrow's a banger.
tomorrow is a banger, guys. So look, I know we keep saying huge streams, but legitimately huge streams. So tomorrow we have Bobby from Dupe coming on. We have Dara with their AI agent marketplace coming on tomorrow. Huge project. We have OOB, out of body experience, building on chain AI tech. So a lot of AI, projects tomorrow. A few of them coming on. Then we have Raider.fun coming on, privacy protocol. And at 2:15, we have Soar from Tom from Launch on Soar coming on. Oh, yep, hit that. Well, from Launch on Soar coming on. So a huge stream tomorrow. And then Josh, can you tell them about the Believe segment tomorrow? I
Yeah.
believe that'll be at 2:30 if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So we do have Stig coming on tomorrow to talk Believe. I also believe Bobby from Dupe is going to join us on that. He's going to be an MCG host. So yeah, going to be fireworks tomorrow afternoon. Like, Chill was talking about, there are more competitors coming to launch pads, and Soar is one of those. Like this week is Soar launch party. And so, we're going to hear from Tom tomorrow. And then if you scroll down a little bit of alpha for you guys, if you scroll down just a touch, you'll notice that on Thursday at 1 p.m., we have Redacted with Soar, launch on Soar as well. So we might even hear from Soar twice this week. And I don't know what to tell you guys, but if you don't follow Soar, go give them a follow. Go give I'm Tom Curry a follow, because I think there might be some updates there that you guys want to pay attention to. So lock in this
Definitely.
week. If you guys don't follow MCG, like, go do that. But yeah, Chill, are we good to end it there? I think this was fire.
Yeah, that's really it. Like I said, we were talking about this earlier. November is the time to stock launch pads, be active. So Soar's launching. You want to pay attention. These are opportunities that we've been waiting on in ICM for such a long time. But that's tomorrow, action packed. On Wednesday we have other great projects coming on, like Wonder, Smart, Polyswipe, Pay AI is coming back with an X402 update. So exciting. Stream on Wednesday. Thursday we have the Met Spotlight. We have the Redacted with Soar, and then on Friday we have Epicentral Labs coming on, as well as Moby with some updates. So huge streams this week. It should be an action-packed week. So you want to especially be locked in for some of these, because again, there's going to be alpha uncovered. So we'll see you guys on the next stream, but we appreciate the love today. I believe there was I think 4,000 of you guys, almost 5,000 of you guys viewing the show. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in. But we will see you all tomorrow for more value, more alpha, more trades. Appreciate you guys, and much love. By the way, use the MCG code to sign up for the Moby app. As you can see, we are partnered with Moby. Huge. It's the whale is right at the bottom of the screen. I've actually had a chance to test out the app over the weekend. It's actually how I got the South Park trade as well. And so yeah, definitely use it. Click the link in the tweet to sign up, and you'll get some even more alpha from the Moby Screener app.
They're launching ICM on Moby. You can add MCG as a code, I believe, when you download the app, or you can click here and it just tracks the traffic. But I know people are kind of hesitant to click links, so you can do both those things. Also, go use Moby Screener. They're supporters of the show, of course, but I just have this kind of not loathing of Dex Screener, but I think Dex Screener has led a lot of people to the slaughter through how their algorithm of paid to play and volume kind of puts meme coin scams into the trending category. I think we just need another team to win and try and make sure their trending algorithms are more accretive to traders. So yeah, see you guys, and You also get the global DCA tracker for free on the Mobi app. So go see what whales are DCAing your bags, in or out, of course. Yeah. So see you guys.
Deuces.
Deuces.